Joel's ready, we're ready. Uh-oh. That's good. Yeah. It's not. You're supporting a higher education in Georgia. We're waiting for well, Pat's running late. He just called me. So he did. Okay, are we? Oh, we're good to go. We're good. All right. Okay. Microphone's on. Very good. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board workshop session this morning. Today is Friday the 13th. Today is Friday, December 13th, 2024. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. Pat Corkle is running a few minutes late this morning, so bear with us, but we still have a quorum and we can proceed with our workshop session this morning. So I'm going to turn it over to Brett Schroeder. He'll walk us through the applications that we'll be hearing and seeing today, beginning at our public hearing at 9 o'clock this morning. So Brett, the floor is yours.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Joel, I need my computer when you get a chance.
And while you're doing that, I do see the agenda in front of us on our monitors. I noticed that the meeting minutes that we're going to be approving from November should be November 15th, not 14th. Correct? Yeah, whoever. Okay, just.
New thing they have to do. Eventually, probably in the next meeting, you guys are going to be voting. You're going to be pressing a button to vote, and they have to create an agenda for that. So that's fine.
Okay. Okay. Just.
Yeah, just some new stuff.
Okay. Very good.
So,
start off the new year with some new procedures. Okay,
yep.
Very good.
Fun stuff.
All right, Brett. Thank you.
So this is the first case. This is don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. But it's the old Senior Patrons.
Mozica Mezzi?
I don't know. Yeah,
I
said Mozica, and I don't know that that's right. So I was
okay.
like, I don't know. Anyway, this is West Side and Old Milton, and this is started out as Chewy's,
yes.
Then went to Senior Patrons. Now it's going to be this. So the gentleman that's coming in wants to replace this roof structure and add to it out to the edge of the, almost to the edge of the building out here. A new roof structure, like what we have at a couple other places, like what was homes out here and things, the tilting roof where it can close and be waterproof, yet be opened and have sun. So that's what he wants to. Yes, that's what he wants to do. So you can see here where he's brought it out to the front edge of the building.
Yeah, it looks like it's more than a tilt-up roof. It says roll-up roof, though,
yes.
So it's like the whole roof rolls out of the way.
Yeah,
like a garage door kind of.
I'm not really sure, and I'll tell you, it's anyway. Yeah.
I did take some pictures of that facility or building. Did I email those to you last time, Brett?
Yeah, you can email them. Yeah. So currently they've got 4 columns that surround that thing. And my suggestion to them was that needs to continue because that center had council conditions that it needed to be similar to architecture found at Old Edwards Inn. I've never been to Old Edwards Inn, so I'm not really, familiar with that, but I do know that the heavy timber rock look that is currently out there is I told him should in some way continue. Either leave what's there and just change the roof, or leave what's there as far as the columns and extend out and do another column. So we'll see what he brings in today.
And there also some nice landscaping too.
There's some nice landscaping, and from what I understand,
displaced or
yeah, he wants to just relocate it from where it is basically to the front. Same plant material, same thing there.
Is that a pre-manufactured system, like structures, like?
this.
I don't know. I believe it probably the actual
Yeah.
roof part probably is, but the structure of it
Because a lot of them
is
now,
probably built on site.
because a lot of them now come as like a kit,
Yeah.
and you could run electrical and stuff in it. But they do have, I think, options where you could clad it, maybe do a stone base on it.
Yeah, when you look at
Like
the details, it looks like a pre-made thing, because it has, it also has the roll-down windows. right?
Yes.
And they're showing water coming out the bottom of the posts.
Yeah,
you know,
they
it almost looks
drain
like
them
it's
through the columns and stuff, which is, it's not a bad system, but aesthetically, like if they're going for an Old Edwards Inn, it's different.
Gonna be hard to add a modern feel to it.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a big
And
aluminum structure.
there
it
were
looks like.
images presented at that council,
Yeah. I looked at the images and they were, it was really like, really Old Edwards. Early 1900 images that, so I think if you just can think about what the center itself looks like, I think if we just continue that feel, I think we'll be good there.
Yeah, I think the challenge we're gonna have is doing that and having those roll-down windows. I don't know, we did that somewhere, didn't we do that somewhere? There was a way to do it, but, because you imagine the columns stick out, right?
Yeah.
Past the posts, so they'd have to build out, I don't know, but.
Well, we did that at Holmes, actually, because they had the column bases, and so what they ended up doing was building inside the columns.
Right.
Yeah, and so they wanted to go in the middle, but there's just no way to do that.
Right, yeah.
So they built inside the columns so that everything could slide behind it. Sort of looks fine from the street. You don't really notice that. This is going to be really out on the street, although it is a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit out there too. So,
Well,
but
That's the fill-in corner.
yeah, it's the only way to do it, and keep those stone bases. It's still.
morning, sir.
Pat, I assume they'll show up this morning.
Let's hope.
Okay.
Wills Park Vet, they are here for a sign. Just, it's in the downtown, so we've got to bring it. So I think that one fits. I think I mentioned also last month or the month before that we were looking at doing some changes as far as in the code for how many colors and different things like that in centers, and we've sort of put that on hold for now because we need some more research as to trying to figure that out as far as how limiting or not limiting 3 colors and black and white might be. So currently we don't have that, but I think we should keep in mind, and maybe, what else is in the center, in the areas that don't have to come here. That's what I'm doing is, what else is in the center? What other colors are used as a majority color? And you need to match that color. You know, if you got, one wants to use cherry red, one wants to use cranberry red, sorry, we're gonna have to go with what's already existing. So it's a little bit of a juggle, but we'll get there.
Do we know what's already in the center?
A lot.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I don't,
They never came up with a sign package.
No.
And that's what we encourage,
Yep.
so that they don't have to.
That'll be a code in the future.
yeah, at least there's no primary colors here. These are,
Yes. Yeah. At least there's no primaries, and we've gotten rid of the face illumination, so that I think really helps with whatever color it is, even if they're a lot of colors, since they're not face illuminated, they're not standing out. So, yeah. So that's that one, and then we've got another sign for the Shuck and Shack Oyster Bar, which is going the old Butcher and Brew.
South Main Kitchen.
South Main Kitchen, yeah, not Butcher and Brew. Butcher and Brew is now Academy Bar. So they've got one on the front, one on the back.
Why didn't Academy have to come for their sign?
I'm sorry,
Why didn't Academy have to come for their sign?
it's temporary and it's so small.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like 1.5 square feet. So, yeah,
So that's a temporary sign.
it's really little. Yeah, I don't even know that Academy Bar is gonna be there in January, so it's probably gonna be something else. It's because there's other things that require, there's other ordinances and other licenses that require a place to have a name on the door or somewhere that, you know, he's like, can I just put this on there for now? And so,
You know, I'd like for this Shucking Shack sign to be maybe a little bit more creative.
yeah, it's, I mean, it's pretty, it's, you know,
I like it.
I mean, as far as creativity, I think it's definitely different than just putting some letters up there. I think getting down to the materials and how the sign company is actually gonna make that look like wood and not just like a sticker up there on the wall. You know, I think what we can reference would be the restaurant out front here in the little jewel box on the town green.
Chiringa?
Chiringa has a wood look background on their sign.
This looks a little cartoonesque.
yeah.
It sort of does. It sort of does, but it's also
I
an
think that's
image.
the vibe.
So what, you know, how he, I think it'll be key for you guys to get out of him. How are you going to make that look like that? Is it going to, you know, have undulations and, you know, and different things in the wood, or is it just going to be a flat piece with a sticker on it, which won't work, but, you know. So, but I think I like it with what's around the door already existing and stuff like that. I like the look, the thought of it with the restaurant. So, yeah.
It does work with the wood on the door.
The only thing that bothers me is it's like a billboard. It stands up for me too high off of
Yeah.
the canopy. It's almost like if that oyster thing wasn't under it and the whole sign was sitting down on the canopy, I feel like it.
Yeah. To me, the most cartoonish part is the oysters.
Yeah,
think
and
they
the,
need
and
to-
the shucker.
Yeah, they need to go. But
Yeah.
that's just my thought.
Yeah, the rest of it, I think it'd be fine, and then it would be down on the canopy instead of up on stands. you know.
Yeah. And it can't hang below. As you can see, that canopy was, you know, built way back. I don't even want to guess, you know, 40s or 50s or something. So it's quite low. So there's no room to hang it below there, which I think would be the better spot. But anyway. And then you got the rear.
That's my idea.
I know, if you go in there, go in the back.
Okay, and then we have On Thompson Street, we've got a development called Kingsley. And this image, the first couple images here I'll show you are what was shown to City Council for rezoning. So we have to use these because they reference them, but they're not, they are, what do I want to say? They're artist renderings. They're not necessarily the exact. So I think what we can use is like for example, in this one, the massing of it and the different shapes of the buildings and the things like that. It does not have a curved street anymore. So, you know, so there's things like that. And then this is one of the renderings that was shown for, this would be the entrance on Thompson Street. So, and as you can see, Tracy Ward, who used to be our consultant.
Was he our consultant still when he did this?
He was our consultant when he did this for council, yeah. But he didn't do it for us, he did it
Right,
for
yeah.
a client, yeah. So and then here you've got some more. This would be looking back with the townhomes back here at the back. So there's a lot of things on here, like there's lots of chimneys, and they don't really, if you really look at the images, they don't really seem to sometimes relate to something. But again, they're just some artist stuff. This one I think is probably the most telling. Now Thompson Street would be out here in this case.
Yeah, this is back towards.
Yeah, this is a little park area with the townhomes would be right here. So again, Thompson Street would be top of the page here. This would be the back side of the townhomes. This is Thompson Street. No, sorry. This is the townhomes down here.
Yeah. And this has, we have a couple council conditions to.
There are a couple council conditions, yep.
Are being enforced.
Here's your section.
So here is site plan, full site. Does have a little twist to it, not quite as much as what you did, but you do have that focus straight through to the park area. So I think that's a nice feel there. I think these two homes are going to be really important. You're going to have good views of these from both straight on Thompson Street, and you'll get, you know, going each direction. You'll have the front facades of them as well. So these side elevations, where we don't sometimes key in on side elevations, the side elevations on these two will be fairly key, and then the townhomes. So they're looking at these two homes today and the townhomes, and then they've got some packages put in here that they'll use materials and things like that to go back, but these are going to be single built as sold. So they're going to give the client some choice, but most of that choice for the client will be on the interior.
So are we then so we're just approving the two homes and the townhomes?
Two homes and the townhomes. Right.
Or not the materials package or anything for the rest of the homes? They're gonna come back as?
I think they're going to come back as, yeah.
Okay.
I think they'll want direction for sure on the materials, you know, whether you feel like they're in there. I mean, there's only, I think, 10 homes or something, so, you know, it's going to be fairly key to mix it up a little bit, but. So then you've got the two homes here. This is lot 1, which I believe is the left-hand lot if you're turning in. materials, brick veneer. Then this is the next lot, which would be the other Thompson Street. I think this is the Thompson Street elevation. There's a couple little things that I found a little different on this elevation, and I'm not sure about how these look. In the renderings, it's a full open patio area in these arched openings on that front. And it appears now that these are closed in other than the center. So, you know, I don't know, I'm not an architect, but that's one of the things that I was like, I'm not sure how that feels to me.
It was almost like the 2020 renderings were like a brownstone type of a configuration, kind of a half floor there.
Yeah.
These are full.
Well, and this also, you're not seeing the retaining wall that's in the front
I guess.
and stuff like that. This is, you know, this is just basically your 2D image of that. So there's things that are in the front there that, you know, hopefully KSI does a good job. You know, they've been here before with us, so they understand, and hopefully they do a good job explaining that. The other thing with this one, you know, I go back to the hotel that we did a few years ago with the paint job, and I think Mr. Kramer coined the birthday cake layering thing on that one, or
Mr. Corkle.
maybe it was Mr. Corkle, okay?
Mr. Corkle.
And so I look at this one and I go, okay, well, this looks pretty heavy for the base. I'm okay there. But when you compare these two, I feel like the center one feels really light, and then you go back heavy again on the top. And to me, I think it feels like these are wider, the openings, and maybe if this one had a transom, I don't know, but I just felt like it seems like these two should be swapped.
Yeah, the city council drawings from Tracy Ward had single or double hung windows on either side, which with shutters, which kind of narrowed the stack, which I thought looked nicer. And not that this bothers me, but there were also no balconies on the sides either.
So I will tell you that one of the downtown consultants were kind of in between here, and so we don't really have good comments from a downtown consultant. So staff poured over these probably harder than what we normally would to come out, and we've met with the client as well, and these are some changed elevations from the originals. So I don't have a good historic architecture comments for you. So, you know, maybe.
Do we have a officially have a?
We do not.
Consultant? Okay, that's probably why then.
Yeah, we did, and he's hired. However, there's some controversy, or I shouldn't say controversy, but there's some opinions that he needs to be Georgia licensed, and he's not. He's Texas and Oklahoma, and he's several states, but he doesn't carry a Georgia license. So we're sort of going back and forth, because we also had an applicant that came in for that consultant position that didn't have any architects on their thing at all. Well, I shouldn't say that. They were all landscape architects and not buildings, but they had done historic stuff. Yes, landscapers, yes, they're absolutely, landscape architects were qualified, and it just said architects. So, yeah, so we're working on that. So hopefully before the next case comes, we'll have him on board and be able to get some good comments out of it. So there you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, and Brett, for this application, are we looking at site plan? Are we looking at landscaping? Are we looking at,
I think we are looking at landscaping. I'll have to go back to the LED, remember, for sure. I'll have to go look at the comments, but I think we're looking at landscaping and elevations materials. I think site plan's already been set. But I'll let you know before we get there. I'll take a look at those again. I just can't remember. I'm sorry? No, that's the other one, yeah.
And looking through the conditions, it looks like the only thing that DRB needs to be concerned about is materials, like the fences and landscaping and all that staff,
Okay,
I think.
thank you for pouring through that and finding that.
You're welcome.
With this whole 2-month thing basically going on, I'm getting cases in my head, just like, you know, because I'm talking to people for a long period of time now, and yeah, anyway. And I'm over 56 now, so. Yeah.
okay, any other questions for Brett on the Kingsley? There being none, then let's adjourn the workshop session this morning. Go get our coffee cups filled, come back, and we'll get started here at 9 o'clock with our public hearing. All right, thank you. We can, just don't say anything.
Can't have a quorum.
You can show them, you can hand them out, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in Ohio State.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Columbus, Ohio.
Good for you.
Years ago. So I can just pass it.
Yeah, so when you start, you can tell them what you're giving them, and then just start with one end or the other, and they'll funnel them through. Yeah.
That's right.
You want to introduce yourself first and then call me as an architectural consultant, and we'll just walk through it. We can go back and forth. How do I get, how do we get in here? Whether swap presenter view? Does that shopping center have a name? Or they already know?
Yeah, it is, it's okay, address is good enough for them.
Joel, we ready? Good, all right. Lights, camera, action. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board public hearing. Today is Friday, December 13th, 2024. Welcome, everyone. Glad to see you. Happy holidays. Our first order of business, obviously, is roll call, and it looks like we're all here, all present and accounted for, so thank you. Ms. Palmer, I understand you have to leave by 11 o'clock-ish, so we'll do our best to get through as much as we can before then. Okay, let's stand, we'll face the flag and have the Pledge of Allegiance this morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you for that. Okay, any items from staff this morning?
Just a real quick thing. Happy holidays to everyone. This is our last meeting of the year, so I want to give you good kudos and thank you for all of the work you did this year. We've seen a lot of cases this year. I don't know if Mr. Kramer has his normal for this month or if it'll be for next month what we did, but we were busy this year, and it's looking like we're going to be just as busy the first part of next year. So we'll just muddle through, just keep right on going. So I hope everybody has a great holiday season. If you're traveling, be safe. And from all of the staff and city council, thank you for what you do for us.
And I'm sorry, but once again, I forgot to put the public hearing procedure on the agenda, so if I can read it. Any individual requesting to be heard on a matter related to the purpose of the hearing must be recognized by the chair before addressing the DRB. Upon rising to speak, the speaker must identify himself or herself and furnish a home address before proceeding with any comments or remarks. All comments and presentations must be addressed to the DRB and not to the audience. The DRB will allow proponents a total of 10 minutes to speak in support of an application. That includes the applicant. Opponents will then be allowed 10 minutes to speak in opposition. Comments are first accepted by the applicant, followed by persons speaking in favor, and then those from those in opposition. Upon conclusion of any opposing comments or presentation, the chair will allow the applicant to offer rebuttal if any time is remaining in the original 10 minutes. And the chair has the ability to extend that time for more than 10 minutes. Thank you. And then I just want to make one more comment. We have a little gift for you guys. It's a puzzle, so that's thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, anything else from staff this morning? I know we have a few new members visiting us this morning, right? Want to introduce yourselves?
Joel Carnow, the new GIS professional for community development.
My name's Erin Cobb. I'm the Administrative Office Coordinator for Community Development. I'll be running the AD system for the Code Enforcement Board, so I'm shadowing Joel today to learn the system.
All right, well, welcome. Thanks for being here this morning. All right, anything else from staff? It takes two. Okay, any items from board members this morning? Anything from board members? I would like to say thank you for our puzzle gift. Very nice. I saw one of these in the Parks and Rec offices the other day. I was trying to help put together a little bit, so thank you. That's great to see that. And thank you for what you do, you guys, staff, as far as making our board efficient and well-run and making us look good. Thank you for all that you do this year. So thanks for bearing with us, being with us, and everything. And happy holidays and safe travels to you guys if you do anything. So, and then for board members, there may be a little envelope in front that you have. So that's a little thank you from the chairman's platform. So thank you for all your service this year. So good luck, everybody. Good luck.
That's because Holly's already scratched her.
Oh, okay.
These comments are after she's scratched.
Oh, okay. Very good. All right. Anything else from board members? Very good. Okay. Next up on the agenda is to approve the November 15th, 2024 Design Review Board meeting minutes. Ellie's done a good job, as I assume everybody's looked at those minutes. And can I get a motion to approve such, please?
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve DRB meeting minutes of November 15th, 2024, into motion.
A second.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Palmer, a second by Mr. Owens. Any comments or questions about the motion? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the City of Alpharetta's Design Review Board meeting minutes of November 15th, 2024, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed, no opposition. Minutes are approved 7-0. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, our first applicant this morning, or application this morning is, and I may not pronounce this correctly,
Mosaica Meze.
Okay. All right. Good morning. Welcome. If you'll make sure you speak into the microphone, introduce yourselves this morning, and then review what we have in our packet today, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Okan Azurteri, the owner of Mosaica Meze at 2560 Old Milton Parkway, Suite 120, Alpharetta, Georgia. We've been doing quite a bit of construction and hopefully getting ready at the beginning of the year, mid-January, we should be ready for our interior. We're here today for our exterior, for the patio. There's an existing patio, and we would like to change the little bit of the structure, the top part of the canopy. We're trying to get it to retractable instead of the fixed system that we have. There's a fixed metal roof basically, and we like to have the retractable canopy. Plus, we like to extend the patio towards the Old Milton side, towards the end of the building.
Okan, do you have some images or?
Yes.
As you're talking about this, let's look at what's in our packet, and then we can have a better understanding.
Good morning. My name is Arthur Nerbus. I'm an architectural consultant working with Okan. And with respect to the restaurant has already been permitted, is under construction. And as Okan mentioned, we're trying to extend the patio. The existing condition shows a canopy with columns, open, you could, with the exception of a railing that's there. It's approximately 12 feet wide by 24 feet long. And we're trying to propose another 12 feet in length, so a total of 12 by 36. It would take it right to the end of the building, facing Truist Bank. And in a sense, it would mimic what's happening at Kraft Burger, where they've got the full extent of that side elevation. And we have some renderings here in a presentation that will show. Likewise, the drawings that are being passed around will mimic what I'm showing as well.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right, so in terms of site plan, the southern side of the site is Old Milton Parkway. To the east is West Side Parkway. And the site is shown in red. The Truist Bank is in the corner. I should get the laser here.
Does your mouse work? Or there we go.
There we go, okay. So Truist Bank here in the corner. The restaurant is in red, and then the patio is shown, the entrance in the corner facing the parking, and then the existing patio facing Truist. You can see that this southern corner is not included. So we would like to extend another 12 feet towards that corner. Again, mimicking Kraft Burger and giving the patio some active life, activating the street as well. This is the existing condition right here. The interior, the entrance is coming in off the northeast, and then the patio is on the eastern side, covered with a railing and an existing canopy. This remaining portion is what we're looking at right now. In a sense, it would look like this, where the restaurant would have an entrance into the patio. The patio would have two separate gates, exits, and then this would show the extension of that existing patio going out to the corner. Again, a total of 12 feet wide, 36 feet in length. The system that Ocon is bringing has retractable roof and retractable window panels. They come down guillotine style. And he's got some samples here that show some.
It's a little heavy. I don't know if I won't.
This is a sample of the roofing that retracts.
This is the blade system. Basically, imagine you have a sloped canopy. It's all aluminum. So this will be lifted, like tilts, and then goes back and forth. You can stop it at any level. I mean, that's.
So it's almost like it accordions up like one
Yeah,
on top of
it
the
is,
other.
it is
kinda.
going to be just going
Okay.
like to back.
It'll roll up and then
Roll
back
up
down.
to the back, yeah, with
Yeah.
blade system, yeah.
Now, obviously, with a condition like this, with this, a roof system like this, with a window system, that allows summertime use. And then if it's raining in the summer, everything gets closed up. And then likewise, in the winter, it's relatively cooler outside, but you can still close everything up, still have sunlight coming into the space, and you're making use of the patio.
Right.
So the patio is activated in the winter because you could raise the windows, close off the roof. Okay.
Is
All right.
that
And
the-
this is the actual color, by
That's
the
what I
way.
was gonna ask.
Yeah,
Oh, that's-
so that shows the actual color. In the drawing right now, this shows us the roof of the system, the floor plan, and then the elevations that would show the column system. This is the side facing Truist, and then either ends. The end on the Old Mill Parkway, and then facing the front entrance. This is a rendering of what that system would look like with the open columns along the perimeter. The front entrance is here on the right, and the patio is on the east side facing Truist. This is an example of the roof retracted halfway. This, again, is another example showing all 36 feet with the roof retracted back and open columns.
How do the windows, are they removed or they slide up?
In this rendering specifically, it is. We're going to show you
Okay,
what would it look like.
thank you.
While you're on that one, your intention is to leave those stone bases as they are today?
Yes, we've been told to keep those. We may want to propose something else if that's possible today. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
that's.
and I mean, I like to see them stay. I'm glad to see, because
Okay.
then you're submittal, I didn't see them there. And in fact, I'd like to see one more on the,
We can definitely, talk to our landlords and see how they got this built before.
Yeah.
Because you're right, because we need to have the exact same stone.
yeah, because unfortunately, that last one is the one that's.
Yeah,
on the
that is
street,
gonna
right?
look
That's the one
awkward,
visible
yes,
from,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, somewhat visible from.
Now, this rendering here, right now that's shows the extent of the 36 feet and then extended out to the existing sidewalk between Truist Bank. Because of the rush in the rendering, we would not remove the landscaping that's out in front here. So forgive us for that little.
Do you have existing photos? In other words, photos maybe taken from Old Milton, photos of this, existing conditions?
No, well, I mean, that's about the extent of what's existing on the left side.
Because I'd like to see the front elevation from Old Milton and to see how does it blend? or
It's,
does it
that,
look like an
there are
add-on?
like bushes and plants, yeah.
Yeah, currently there's landscaping that wraps around that
Grass
corner.
and, yeah.
That wraps around the corner, and then obviously we would have to relocate, replant, and fix that corner.
Brad, is there any way you can pull it up on Google Earth? Or some sort of,
It's not a good image, but I can show you what the best I can get.
This image here does show the extent of the current landscaping as it is. Of course, we're showing the 36, the next 12-foot module coming in on top of that landscaping, but this shows the extent of what's there right now. And because that extension, we would add another door for the patio in terms of exit separation from a building code standpoint. So we would actually just need enough sidewalk to connect to the existing sidewalk. The rest of it would actually be landscaping. So we wouldn't touch the landscaping. It's just that portion to allow for means of egress.
Yeah, so existing landscaping would stay on the side.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
But you're obviously, where you were extending it, there's a bunch of landscaping there that's gonna get displaced, right?
That portion, that 12-foot portion, exactly. We could replant it and extend it further around the corner. Because beyond what's shown right here, it's just grass up until fencing. So we could replant what's existing and just take it further.
and the color scheme would stay the same as what exists now?
Yes, color scheme is
Yeah.
trying to match, what's there right
Can
now.
just,
So it would be that and.
it's a matte brown, like a little espresso brown kind of.
Does that match the trim on the building?
Yes,
It does?
Yes.
Matches the window trim?
exactly.
looks
Same,
something's different.
same paint that we're using.
What is the trim on the building right now?
Trim of the building is brown.
I'm hearing no over here, I'm hearing yes over here.
Well, if you go, you just had a picture up there
That's why
that I
I'm
think
interested in
showed
seeing
it.
these photos of existing
Yeah.
conditions.
Because you can see the color on the trim right there.
It's sort of a grayish.
We have patio columns are gray, but this is the existing patio, the steel columns, those are gray. But the building from Old Milton side, it has blue, some light blue color from the Mexican restaurant was there before, so I actually didn't know what to do about the Old Milton side. But if you're looking in from the main entrance side, we have brown bricks, and
Let
then,
me ask you this. There's an image on the screen right there.
yes,
Is that true to form? Is that true? Is that the true colors of the existing column and then the addition?
In
that
the
is the
patio.
Those
true
colors.
column,
In the
true
patio.
color, yeah.
Is that material paintable then? The new,
We can once we get all these, we like to paint that to the same color of these.
is that paintable?
Yes, definitely.
I think were you just saying you want to repaint what's there that color?
Yes. Or whatever the suggestion.
Or can you repaint that?
So go back one more image, Brett, or whoever's, I'm sorry, Arthur, right?
Arthur.
Can you go back one more image that you just had, forward, I guess? One more. So the trim on the glass there, that sort of works. So the trim on the glass there, which I'm assuming is the same trim that goes around the building and faces North Point?
That is
Or
great.
excuse me, Old Milton?
Yes.
That's the color of the
yes.
trim on the glass, correct?
Yes.
So what I'm after is the new structure paintable? And if it is it paintable to match the trim on the building? So this doesn't look like an add-on as you look at it from Old Milton.
Okay, because right now it is gray, the trim, what we're talking about, we already got this painted to this color. So when I spoke to Brett and, a few other colleagues, this is what we thought it will be great, like, for the building. But if that's the case, we have to repaint it, that's fine. But we already have the system painted to this.
One thing to note, though, is it looks like from the pictures I have, that the trim is this brownish gray. However, the pre-finished roof seems to be more like this brown color. So it's not like it doesn't seem like it's a new color being introduced.
Yeah.
The existing canopy has more of a brown.
And the truss bank has exactly the same color of these. This is why we thought this will be a great idea to have this color.
So I think what was statements that might have been made is match existing. I'm sort of with you, Mr. Corkle, when you've got that heavy timber on the front facade right there, and you're gonna leave it, if you can go back one picture to where you showed the front.
If it sits back in
There,
the
you've
current
got the-
space conditions, it's not as prominent as viewed from Old Milton.
Right.
But when you're extending it to the same facade as Old Milton, that same front facade,
Yeah.
it's a much bigger deal. in my
Yes,
eyes.
and in this one, when you've got that whole front entrance that's all the trim color with all that heavy timber and that trim color wraps the building, I agree.
And this elevation that's on the screen, I'm not as concerned about if it was just that, because it's interior to the site and that sort of thing. But
I think it's just a good example
when
because,
when it's viewed from the street though, from Old Milton, it's a much bigger deal as far as.
yeah,
Can I just clarify, that there is no heavy timber, right? Maybe in color, but there's
this has a heavy timber reference.
up top, okay.
This entire thing with the 4 posts and all of it. I mean, it just has that heavy timber look.
Even though it's not heavy timber.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, it looks like the metal roof is brown,
The metal roof is brown.
just street view. I mean, the standing seam metal roof on the existing building appears to be brown on Google Street View.
It is.
It's got, and then there's some shingles on that building too.
But my argument is it doesn't belong, this doesn't belong to the roof necessarily, it belongs to the front facade of the building.
Yeah, I agree.
The windows, window trim.
I feel like the framing should match the heavy timber, the roof color, which they have,
Match the roof
should
color.
match the standing seam roof. It's pretty straightforward.
The existing, you want us to
Existing.
match the existing canopy.
Yeah, and there's 2 components. There's the structural component, which is the columns and the beams, and then there's the roof covering, which you held up, which I can't tell for sure, but it seems like that matches the standing seam roof, which I think is appropriate if it matches.
So looking at the picture that we have on our monitors right now, we've got the existing 4-post column right there at the entrance with the stone base. The colors of that 4 column are at the entrance. The new columns on the enclosure need to match that. Is that what we're saying?
I think so. I think, Pat, that's what you're saying as well. And then
Okay.
the
And then the roof
Match the
matches,
standing
roof color
seam.
matches the standing seam roof color.
it'll just be more consistent, I think it'll look good.
Okay.
And I agree with Frank on the stone base being on all 4 posts.
Because it looks like on some of the drawings we have in our package, the stone bases were being removed.
It was just an example, a sample.
Oh, okay,
Of-
but now
of-
you're gonna leave the stone bases there
Yeah,
that are
right.
existing,
Yes.
and now we're gonna add one on the old Milton corner.
Yes.
To replicate the same stone bases that we've got the other places,
True.
okay? Now, can you still make this whole enclosure work around these stone bases?
Yeah, because
glass,
the column structure is supporting the roof structure.
Right.
So that roof structure's working on its own.
But then
The
the-
facade would have to go up and over the
Okay,
stone.
so you can make that work,
Yeah.
that fabrication can happen there, okay?
That's right.
Is this a prefabricated structure system?
Yes, we already,
When you guys were designing it, did you guys consider not necessarily the 4 columns that exist on the existing canopy, but did you consider doing something with a little more heaviness to it, like the double columns? Just so it doesn't look so spindly? Is that something you guys?
when
looked
we brought this idea up at the, we never attended the design review board, but we had a meeting with Mr. Schroeder and a few other colleagues. So when we brought this up, the main idea was we wanted, it will look better if we kept all these existing columns, steel columns. So that's why we designed it based on what the existing is. And but there are other ideas, like we could just take everything off and then put a brand new columns with the aluminum post in the front, steel columns in the back. But we didn't want to, because it wasn't a great idea, I guess. So we just wanted to keep the existing structure and just change the canopy, but also extend the patio.
'Cause
So
It looks like, unless my picture's incorrect, that the existing columns are clusters of 4.
Yeah.
Right? And you guys are switching
They are?
to,
Yes.
on the existing covered area.
Yeah.
Just like the front entrance.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys are switching to singular columns, correct?
Actually, again, 2 different ideas. So
Okay.
if we wanted to just put all these here, but it seems like you like to keep these existing columns. We're okay with that, with the stone, no problem. But again, if we have to remove him, we can remove him, and we can put new columns, singular one. But it's really,
I like the 4 columns.
The existing are clusters of 4 columns. If that's what you want, then that's what we're going to keep.
I think that if you keep the base and then you put a single little 8, it won't look proportionally good. And I think that the existing columns, the cluster of 4, gives it some more heaviness and
it is very strong. That is still.
And
column.
visually, it works nicely to continue that built-up column.
Yep.
Because your materials are substantial, and they're presenting that kind of image.
So to back up so I understand, you want to use what's on the screen now, the 4 columns.
I'm totally fine with that. Yes, sir.
With the stone.
That's what you want to use? I'm
Yes.
asking,
Yes.
Are you
I'll-
proposing the single column or the 4s?
I'm okay with any of them.
sounds like it's open.
Whatever we want, okay.
whatever you guys like, seriously, it's
Okay.
all.
So let's agree we stay with the existing 4 columns.
Yes.
As shown in the rendering right there.
With the stone
Right there.
bases.
With the
think
stone
you'll be
bases,
happier
everybody's
with
good
that.
with that, right?
Okay,
That-
sure.
That replicates the entrance, the main entrance of the
Yes.
facility has that.
Sure.
same
It'll-
entrance
Yes.
to it, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you're gonna, in
Okay.
order to totally enclose it, you're gonna have to fill in between those posts on the outside.
That's right.
In order to
Like
make
that.
it completely.
This image with the stone base in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fine. And
I
what
do
did you,
too.
where did you end up on the color on the structure to match the trim of the building, but keep the roof brown was kind of where we ended up.
I think that will be fine as
I
well.
think that works for me.
So are you doing all glass walls? Is that, so that's going to be a permanent part?
No, these are all sliding, just hand sliding doors.
Oh, okay.
The system
Windows.
allows either for sliders or guillotine-style window panels.
Okay.
when it comes down, it forms.
So
a
they're
guardrail.
always gonna be there, whether they're opened or closed, they're always gonna be there.
Well, in that rendering, they're sliders in this one.
We just wanted to, like, because originally we didn't bring that up at our first meeting, but then I was thinking, it really makes sense just having those windows, and they look really nice. They're double pane, tempered glass, very strong, and we can just slide them whenever we want to, open it, close it. It's just an idea to bring you guys up, so.
All right, so the windows, so the glass on the enclosure are sliding then, is what we're saying?
Yeah, they go in any side. You can slide them all the way to the end and open up in summertime, keep it closed in winter.
I mean,
Same color, the way.
aesthetically, it's not a lot different, right? Whether it's slides or guillotines, do you
I
guys
think it's,
care? I don't really.
no, but
The guillotine, if it goes up, it's gotta go somewhere, and then you're.
Well, I think that.
It slides down.
Guillotine system is like,
They collapse down.
guillotine system is about 40-inch high, 3 panels. So they stacked. So top 2 moves, and they all meet at the first one. So the first one is fixed, the other 2 moves around. So they're electrical, remote controlled, and they're very, very nice systems. But if something that you guys like to have a manual, then we have to have a sliding
it's
instead.
gonna be tricky though with those bases
This is
to,
not fi-
like,
this
you
is
you
a-
might have to have fixed pieces
This
that
is
go
a
out to the
custom
edge.
made now.
Yeah.
Enclosure. Now that you mentioned this retractable roof,
Yes.
what about lights and
Eh,
fans?
Lights are integrated around the
Within the structure.
roof. It's like LED rope lighting. It looks very sleek and nice, and it just, it's there with with the roof.
So there's no ceiling fans either then in that area?
We can definitely add if we'd like to.
But if you retract the roof, you lose, I guess there's some structure up
Yeah,
there.
we can, yeah.
Let me just go back here.
Is the space conditioned? I mean, will there be heaters in there?
There is a gas heaters already there, and we just
Those
want
are,
to,
those are just the portable kind of gas heaters?
yeah, those new style, the wall mount, what do you call them? The
Are they
chromic,
Radiant
yeah, radiant ones, yeah.
Are they vented?
It's just a heater, just a radiant heater.
Sure, but does it have a vent?
There's no venting.
No vent, okay.
No.
Thank you.
If you look at the roof plan right here, there's a structure, right? So at every 12 feet, you'd have a structural beam. From the beam, you'd have lighting integrated within the structure itself.
Okay.
From there, if we needed to, we can hang other
Yeah,
fans or
you
whatever.
don't need to. The reason we're asking is if you're going to have them, they need to be
Yeah.
approved,
Oh,
right?
we understand.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us whether you have.
Because
them.
the existing restaurant already had all their like mounted stuff, like, the fans and stuff. I mean, all the electric there, all the gas there.
All right,
for the-
can we
for the
go
back.
back to those windows? What do you want? Do you want the sliding down windows or the side sliding windows?
I guess the sliding will do a bit better for us instead of the guillotine.
Okay.
The horizontal sliding, right? No?
Yes.
Or the okay, horizontal. Okay. So in this rendering that we're looking at on the monitor right now, one of the changes that needs to be made is the stone base needs to happen on that corner piece right there, okay? All right.
I'm still a little confused about what all this glass is how it's gonna integrate with these double or 4 columns and how it's gonna.
Well, I think they're gonna end up doing, remember what we did on, I don't know if you were, I think you were here for Home, I don't remember, when they enclosed that, they had the
We'll have
same
the full
problem, they had
combi.
wide bases
Yeah,
on the,
it
so you
gets
have to,
kinda
you
hokey.
have to put a vertical member on the outside of the,
True,
the
because
outside of the thing.
there's a gap between the pairs of columns.
Yeah.
So there would be a panel of some sort either on the inside, so you see the 4 panels on the outside, 4 columns on the outside, or
But
you flat them.
how do you enclose these 4 columns if you keep the 4 columns?
then they're gonna have to put a piece of.
They put
between
spacers
the-
or whatever.
They're gonna have to put, yeah, they're gonna put panels in there to.
On the
to
inside.
Fillers or whatever to.
Because if you put it on the outside, it'll be really weird looking.
It'll look just like on the image there. It's on the screen. You have to do it that way. But the column that's gonna be added at that front corner does not have to have any exterior support. That one can be just stone to stone, because it's basically, no, yeah.
It's gonna be the same.
Because nothing's movable. There's nothing, on the front elevation, Old Milton, you won't.
Right.
You can embed that into the,
Yeah, I mean, you're not planning, are you planning to move any of these?
anyway, I don't want to.
I mean, you'd have a stone column, I mean, so either way, I mean, we'd have to seal it right up to the stone.
All right, I'm looking at staff right now. Do they need to create a rendering, kind of a final rendering that you need to see to make sure that we're all on the same page? From what,
I don't think so.
okay,
I mean, I think I know the way it's gonna end up. My only caveat is gonna be, where's the venting gonna go? Because I don't think the fire marshal will pass it.
Unvented, yeah. I think
okay.
you're right. The only, I would say, when you.
Because you've got the heaters there now, but there's no glass.
Yeah, it's open.
So when you enclose it, the fire marshal's gonna say, no, they all have to be vented.
Yeah, you gotta have some.
Then you gotta put that, you gotta put that venting.
And
pipe
you're probably
somewhere.
gonna have to sprinkler that out there
We can add.
when you enclose it. So,
That'll be.
Which is where I was going with it.
but that doesn't have anything to do with this board. I just
It'll
don't
be
know that
covered,
it's
yeah.
constructed.
The only detail I would say is when you've got the two posts and there's an opening through there now, and you want to close that in, you're gonna have to close it in such a way that it still looks like two posts,
Yeah,
right?
it's gotta be
Don't-
done.
Okay, well,
don't just
that's
put
what
it-
I was getting at, like, I
Yeah.
mean, we'll have to clad it, so we'll clad it from the inside, so from the outside, you still see
So
the
you
the
still
pairs of
see the
columns.
post.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
everyone walking by will see the four columns,
Yep.
but it has to be sealed eventually.
Got it.
Perfect.
So, so what I've got, let me just summarize for the board and see if we're all on the same page here. Do you have something else?
I just want to confirm, the new floor, would it just be is it concrete now? And you
Yes.
just- Okay.
Yes.
I just didn't know if you mentioned.
It'll be the same kind of slab we have to add to the extra space area, corner.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That was my only question.
Can we show them
Okay,
So I think where we ended up was, do you have something else before? I was just gonna summarize, see if we're all on the same
To
page.
summarize, well, let me do this first. Is there any public comment about this application this morning? Any public comment? None, okay, all right.
All right, so let me just see if we're all on the same page here. So the structure, meaning all the posts and cross members, would be painted the same color to match the building trim,
building
building trim.
The grayer color.
That grayer color, right? And the roof would remain the brown color that they're proposing, the retractable roof,
To match the standing seam.
because that'll match the standing seam.
Yes.
The stone bases, existing stone bases and columns would remain, and they would add a matching stone base and column structure on the new column on the corner.
Make sure the grout and the cap all match existing.
Yeah, that's gonna be
course.
a little challenge, but as the applicant has requested, there will be sliding windows,
Yes.
and if you do decide to add any ceiling fans or any other, lighting other than what you've described, that will require approval by staff. Was there anything else that?
The enclosure at the quad columns will occur on the inside versus the outside, so that the architectural expression remains.
I just want to add too, that there's a railing there right now. Because of this system, that railing would have to go.
And any landscaping that's, okay.
Please let me address this question. Does the manufacturer have other colors of this material that would match the windows?
We can repaint it to 200 different colors, but,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
no
my
problem.
question though is, if it's an original color, then you avoid the painting and you avoid having to paint it again. Because it would appear that this type of material would come in some different colors that would match the color of gray that we've been talking about.
Yes. I mean, right now, the existing system is being painted to this color, but but I have to just tell my manufacturer to, take it back and repaint it because it's a special paint that they use, just like you're painting the cars, like that kind of
Yeah,
paint.
okay, you're electrostatically painting that as it is created. Okay, I follow you there. Thank you.
Sure.
All right.
Are we going to do can we do a separate landscaping motion?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Okay, so we'll do a separate landscaping motion rather than trying to put it all together.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
As long as you're specific with the motion.
Okay, who wants to go first?
Well, let's cover the landscaping before we make a
Okay,
motion, I guess,
all
right?
right.
That makes sense?
So, just to preface this, there's landscaping that's there now that it looks good back in there, and then that's gonna be demoed, and then the front part isn't going to be as nice as what exists now. So,
Yes.
what I am after is that it's upgraded a little bit to be what exists now. So
Sure.
that's my concern there, and I'm gonna put it on staff to put a final approval to it.
Okay.
So, with that said, I will make a motion on landscaping for DRB number 240041
Mosaica?
Mosaic.
Landscape improvements shall be added to the elevation from Old Milton to be approved by staff. Shall closely resemble the existing, which is being demoed and removed. And landscaping between the buildings along the existing walkway shall be repaired or replaced if damaged to pre-existing conditions. End of motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Corporal, a second by Ms. Sprayberry.
I'm sorry if I slaughtered the name, I apologize.
Any further comments or questions about the motion on the floor? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed, no opposition. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Corporal, for that. All right, let's get on to the building, please.
All right, Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 240041, Mosaica Meza, motion to approve the canopy as proposed with the following conditions. The structure of the canopy, the horizontal and vertical members, will be painted the same color as the existing trim on the building. The retractable roof component will remain the brown color to match the brown on the standing seam roof on the building. The existing stone bases and post structure will remain, and a matching stone base and structure will be added to match for the new column on the corner that's being added. The windows will be horizontal sliding. Any cladding of the columns, the four-post structure, will occur on the inside so that multiple post structure aesthetic will remain visible from the outside. Any ceiling fans or additional lighting will be approved by staff. End of motion.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Ms. Palmer.
Sorry, that was a complicated one.
Any questions or comments about the motion on the floor? There be none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any opposition? No opposition, so motion passes 7-0. All right. Thank you for your time
Thank you so
this
much.
morning. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
Took us a while, but I think we made it through. Thank you for the motions. Okay. Very good. Our next applicant
Thank you.
this morning is, let me look at our is Wills Park Vet. Are you here? Wills Park Vet, all right. Mr. Corporal stepped out to go to the restroom, but we still have a quorum, so we can continue with our meeting. Welcome, good morning.
Good morning.
If you'll make sure you speak into the microphone this morning,
Sure.
introduce yourself and give us your home address as well.
Yes, I'm Kevin Glover with Sinorama, and I'm here representing Wills Park Vet. Wills Park Vet is located at 11770 Haynesbridge Road. They're in the Alpharetta Crossing Shopping Center, and they are taking over suites 703 and 704.
Very good, all right. Looks like you're getting ready to plug in your
Yes, sir.
package. There we go, okay. And Joel can help you navigate to there we go. Get it up on the monitor.
All right, so we are proposing a new storefront channel letter sign for their business. So their suite is 46 feet wide, and it goes from this window here, and it goes all the way to the corner here. They have a double door main entrance here, and so we would like to center the sign on this peak, and it's above the main entrance there. The sign is designed to correspond with the new Alpharetta code. So it is a halo lit channel letter sign. So it's an aluminum constructed sign, has an aluminum face that is painted, and it'll stand off the wall 2 inches to allow the lighting to glow around each letter. And kind of a little bit of specs on the signage here. The total width of the sign is just over 12 feet wide, and it's just over 3 feet tall. And what we want to do is paint the Wills Park in this indigo Baltic. It's a blue. And we want to paint the elements of the paw print above the A and the word vet, gusto gold. The dog and cat element would be painted black, and then we would put a paint mask over it and paint the dog, the gusto gold, and the cat, the indigo Baltic.
Okay. Kevin, do you have some color samples with you this morning?
I do, yes, sir.
Very good. You'll just pass those around, start with Ms. Palmer, if you will. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So the colors being passed around are to have a close match to what their logo colors are. So their logo colors were provided to us in a CMYK, and so we chose some Sherwin-Williams colors that would match pretty close to that we thought would look good against the white brick area.
I'll just pass those over.
Is there a space between the dog and the cat from a lighting like at nighttime? Do you see the silhouette of the cat separately than the dog?
No, sir. It'd be one element, and it would just have the glow around just the shape. So if I zoom in here, oops. That kind of this view kind of shows on the right-hand side, kind of shows what that logo box would look like, the dog and the cat. So it'd just be one solid element in black. And the one on the left here is the individual letters. So this one would be Wills Park, and then this one would be Vet.
Okay.
You do have a great backdrop that's inherently there with the white wall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we definitely want to make sure we get colors that are going to contrast well against the white background there.
Is there currently any signage up in there?
No.
In that spot? No?
No, sir. For some reason, it's not opening here. This slide is supposed to be what the existing building looks like. Let me see. It's being slow.
I think you have a pet museum, not a pet, you have a play museum or, yeah. next door.
Yes, correct. And I have pictures of that if they will show up here. They don't want to show up.
So we see a few well, we see some pictures of the rest of the center. And as we noted in our workshop session, this center does not have a sign package,
There's nothing up in there now, okay.
pre-approved sign package.
You don't have to repair any existing holes, anything like that?
Correct. This photo here is the one that wouldn't open in the slide. This is the existing condition of the building.
Okay.
So everything's already been painted and patched there. And then over to their right is the Play Street Museum. It appears that sign has been designed in the current Alpharetta code.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like the sign. My only comment is in your rendering, it just feels like it's mounted too high.
I agree. I was going to say the same thing.
Okay.
The distance from, and I think it would serve you better too, the distance from the upper left and right corners to the actual eave, it seems a little tight. And it might present the sign better if it's dropped maybe 6 to 12 inches or something.
How about 8 inches? Three brick courses would be 8 inches.
I think it
there we
would
go.
serve you better.
Wow.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah, just
Perfect.
so, yeah, so the space to the eaves
you
matches the
go.
space to the awning.
More like that?
That looks more
Proportional.
appropriate, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Like that. All right, before any motions are made or anything of that nature, is there any public comment about this application this morning? Any public comment? All right, no public comment. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 240046, Wills Park Vet, motion to approve the sign as presented with the following condition. The sign will be lowered from what was presented such that the spacing from the sign to the eaves will be the same as the spacing from the sign to the awning.
Okay.
And a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Swing, a second by Mr. Rowan. Any comments or questions about the motion? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? No opposition. Motion passes 7-0. All right, Kevin, you're all set. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much, and happy holidays, everybody.
You too, appreciate it. Okay, our next applicant is Shucking Shack Oyster Bar. Are you here? Come on down or come on up, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, if you'll make sure you speak into the microphone this morning, introduce yourselves with your name and address, and then give us an overview of what we have in our packet this morning, please.
Yes, good morning. My name's Jim Tardif. I'm the owner of Signs of Significance. Would you like my home address or the business address?
I think, yes, home, please. Home.
Home address is 940 Champions Fairway Drive in Milton.
Okay.
And Rob, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Rob Shriver. I'm the owner of Shuckin' Shack Oyster Bar at 9 South Main Street. And you want my home address? 145 Terrace Glen Circle in Milton, 30004.
So we would like to present 2 building signs for Rob's new location. And it's, you said 9 South Main? 9 South Main Street, which is located right where it shows here. This is a rendering of the actual sign. Our construction idea is, Rob, if you could hand out the pieces. The backboard is going to be made out of high-density urethane, and we've got a sample of what that is. It's going to start out being 5 inches thick. It will be be CNC routed to cut out the shape of the boards. And then it's going to be hand sculpted to to give the look of the boards. The HDU will then be coated with an epoxy resin and then hand painted to give that look of the aged boards. The letters and the oysters with the oyster knife will be made out of PVC, so that the greenish color is the HDU, that's what the backboard will be. The letters will be the white, which is a PVC. They will all be CNC cut to those shapes. We will apply a digitally printed, laminated face to all of those to give the colors and the oyster and knife images. The edges of the PVC will be painted to match the edge color of the graphic. The letters in the oyster will be pin mounted and siliconed to the face of the backboard. Any questions on the construction of the sign itself?
As to the color samples you're passing around, the brown colors, are those for the wood, or is that for another piece of the sign?
Those will be the wood and the handle and the oysters.
Okay.
And there may be some mixing of colors, right? So the artist will do that part.
What will be the color of your rustic boards that are the backdrop of the sign?
The color of the boards? That'll be those two brown colors. And again, as the artist applies them, he will mix them appropriately to make them look like the boards.
A comment about that, we often think in our mind that trees are brown and that boards are brown, but they're actually gray. And you've got an opportunity here to use a gray shade that's going to be pronounced better with the backdrop of the brick on the wall. That's my suggestion, to consider that color instead of the brown for the boards.
Okay. We can definitely take your recommendations. And again, the fabricator that's going to be doing the carving and the painting is a really great artist. He does a lot of wall murals and that sort of thing. So he's going to be able to give it that look with the painting.
Wasn't the idea that the brown colors, once mixed, were then going to be weathered, that would then give it that color? There's some weathering stuff that you would have done to create more of the gray?
It's really just, there's no weathering material that's used. It's the artist's rendition of
the
how
way
he
that the
mixes
artist
the
is doing
colors.
it.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, the door on the building now is kind of a weathered wood
Absolutely.
Yeah.
look, right? I would think it'd be appropriate to try to make it sort of look like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Brett, at the end of the day, when y'all are close to having this manufactured, if you will, I mean, because I did this, and you're right, Richard. I mean, I took the colors and sort of put it up against the screen, and he's right. It's more gray than brown. But at the end of the day, Brett, do you have the capability to color match before they have this thing completely finished to make sure that it matches this image that we're seeing up on the big board up there?
We could make arrangements that I can go see where they're at on the boards themselves, look at the colors and try to think, because I think we want more grays, lighter tones and things than you do the actual browns.
Right. And if it's the artist, like you say, they're gonna take a little bit of artistic license, if you will, to go after this image that we see up here.
Yeah,
So-
it's hard for me to go down to Sherwin-Williams and pick out
All right,
a
well,
mixture of the colors.
The
that
reality is
the
it's probably
artist-
5, 6, 8 different colors, and there's
Exactly.
there's different shades of grays and blacks and browns and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, so the artist will have this rendering, and his job will be
Got one
to
more question.
match the rendering,
Let me
the look of the
interject
rendering.
a minute, sorry. Rob, you have other venues, other restaurants. Have you done what we're describing here for signage for your other venues?
The answer to the first question is no, I do not have other venues, and I have not done this signage before.
Oh, maybe, I'm sorry, okay, you may be, I guess you're a franchisee that.
Right, there is another Shuck and Shack up and
There's
coming, but
about
that's
a
not.
dozen other Shuck and Shacks all over South
There's
Carolina.
20 in north, across, mostly north of
Okay.
South Carolina, Florida, a couple in Chicago,
Okay.
and there are 2 in Georgia
So
here.
are you aware that this sign that we're looking at has been done at any other location?
This is the majority of the Shuck and Shacks have this sign in the front.
Yeah, I saw that. That's in,
All of them are made based on the local codes, so they're not all made the same, but they all have the same look to them.
Sometimes they're longer, and they have the oyster bar at the end. I think a lot of it has to do with the signage restrictions for square footage.
understand. Okay.
Sometimes they're
I
stacked.
mean, could we condition it on the, whether it would look similar to the front door with approval by staff? Something like that.
Just to put your mind at ease a little bit, I was concerned about it looking, the wood looking kind of cartoonish and whatnot, but when I looked at some of the other examples that exist, it actually looks pretty good. I mean, it looks pretty realistic and it doesn't look like a cartoon, so.
Lighting, is it lit? If so, how?
This is going to be externally lighted, and that's where we get to, let me show this one. I know during the work session, you were talking about questioning the height of it. This is being mounted very similarly to how South Main's sign was mounted to the awning. Couple of things. Number one is the oyster and the knife force us to lift the full structure up a little bit. It's going to be mounted about 6 inches back on the awning, and then there will be an LED light bar mounted right on the awning, shining up toward the sign. So that's how we propose to light this. And Rob is working with a lighting designer to pick out those products to do that. So you're not going to see the bar, and it's all going to be lighting back, so there'll be no light reflecting out into the street. So a couple of things about raising it. We wanted to make sure, since we have to push it back a little bit, we wanted to make sure that it was up high enough so people walking by, the line of sight, because of the awning, the line of sight to the sign didn't cut off the bottom of the sign. In
How
the
far back from
rendering-
edge of awning is that?
I'm sorry?
How far back from the edge of the awning is that?
About
set?
5 or 6 inches.
Okay.
That gives us just enough room. We want to keep it as close to the front of the awning as we can, but we've got to have that light bar, and we want to give the light enough space to disperse evenly over the face of
And
the
I
sign.
think that light bar has got a profile of about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch.
Approximately, right.
Okay.
And that's how the South Main sign was lit as well. It had
There was a light bar that ran the entire length of the South Main Kitchen sign around the bottom of it.
And I don't remember ever seeing it, so.
I didn't either. I didn't realize that it was there until I went up to remove it.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was actually lit for a couple of years.
I don't know.
As I commented during workshop, I do struggle with the sort of the billboard feel of it with the metal standoffs and it raised up like that. I mean, South Main Kitchen, the sign was down on the, down on the
It was.
canopy, right? And the others are down on the canopy. It's just, there's something about that look of that thing standing up like that just doesn't look right to me. If the oyster and the shucker were not there and the sign was brought down closer to the canopy, I think it would look fine. So I don't know how any of the other board members feel, but that's kind of where I'm at on this.
I sort of thought the same thing until he said, because I thought it was going to be not illuminated, until he said he was going to put the LED bar in there. And at that point, I think you need that height to let those LEDs lights come together, the actual shine of them. So I think you need a little bit of height, but what if he put, instead of those 2 little spindly things there, he got the artist to do the same thing and made like a 4x4,
Make it look like a wood post.
like a wood post right there to be,
Yeah, absolutely.
That would look cool.
Yeah, that would be definitely better. It would,
tie it together.
yeah.
And allow the height and not be so odd looking.
It'll look a little more authentic.
Yeah.
To you. It won't look as.
Okay, that's easily doable. The other comment I wanted to make out of this, after talking with the fabricator, we would like to have actually 4 posts, just to make sure it's sturdy, as opposed to just the 2 that are shown.
Yeah, you get a strong wind, it may be.
Right.
Yeah, I think I agree. And if you do them in that, so if you're gonna do 4, maybe they're not like a 6x6 look, maybe they're, a little 4x4 or something like that, but,
Yeah,
you're,
we can definitely cover them.
how wide are you at the top boards, like 12 feet or so?
113 inches.
Okay, so not quite 10, so, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna maybe have to look at the proportions of this. We can just put the dimensions to be approved by staff, because it's hard to envision what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Don't you think though, if you had a wood, the 2 wood posts, that would give it adequate support where you wouldn't have to add 2 more?
The posts are still gonna be there, because those posts are steel, and they're gonna be, remember, the sign is 5 inches thick.
Right.
So those posts are gonna go all the way up into the sign to support them.
I think what he's saying is because you're gonna surround it with something bigger, I think it gives you opportunity to use a bigger frame to go up there
Yeah.
and maybe only
you could use
need
like
2.
a 3-inch,
Thank you.
because I think 4 would, first of all, it would detract from your
Yeah,
your logo. And
if you want 2, we'll just increase the diameter of those posts.
do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think 2 looks better than 4.
You're gonna need some kickers on too.
Maybe. Well, if it's
Then we'll just wrap that post with the same HDU product,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
federal artist will.
And paint it distressed wood, look like distressed
And
wood,
make
so
it-
like 2
right.
wood posts holding it up. That'd be more
Yeah.
appropriate, I think.
I think that would look good. I mean, that's what you would see kind of sitting on the ground,
Right,
and you're just moving it up
yeah.
there.
Yep. Yeah, I think that works.
Any other questions on the front sign? Then we can look at the one on the back.
I guess I'll admit, I'm still struggling with the sign. And
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how to, and I'm gonna reference this, and no offense, how to make it uncartoonish looking. And maybe that's trying to get the oysters and the shucker knife, maybe that's a real, not just a artistic rendering of that, but a real, almost like a real oyster shell and something like that, so that introduces something a little bit more creative and fun, but.
With that in mind, your artist could carve into this
I was
material
gonna just say the same
something that
thing.
looked
We
very
could-
much like a
You mean more 3-dimensional?
giant oyster.
Yes, I like, more three-dimensional.
Can you do that?
Yes, yeah, we can add the oyster to the backboard configuration. So then it's all one contiguous piece. Does that make sense then?
We're trying to, in the downtown area, we're trying to get more creative and fun
Yeah.
with our signage. And
Yeah.
so that's what I'm trying to get, rather than just kind of make it a flat, flat board, flat sign, so.
It's like how 3-dimensional is it? I think you're trying to make it look like it's not just a 2-dimensional painted thing, but it's got some depth.
Yeah, so with the boards, that's all gonna be sculpted. He's gonna cut the crevices in the boards to make them actually look like weathered old driftwood kind of boards. So we can ask him to include the oysters as part of that backboard, and he can carve out the oyster shells to give them an authentic look.
Get depth.
But you're looking for, I guess, something that has different thickness than just the sign. You want the oyster
Less
knife and the
flat.
shell a little bit.
Yeah, like, so the shuckers are out on front of it, like,
Yeah,
it actually looks like a real,
I think that would look better.
I like the idea. I think that sounds good.
Now, how you like that may have to think about that, but since it's more, it's deeper now than originally thought. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it fun.
So
Yeah.
one other comment, and I don't necessarily feel strongly either way, is when you address the cartoonish comment, the letters have these white highlights, which make them look kind of bubble letters, and a lot of the other examples for Shuck and Shack.
Let me, if I can address
Yeah.
the white highlights.
Yeah.
Those were part of the rendering didn't come through very well. That's why I showed this one,
Okay, good.
because this one, the color, the true colors came through better in the picture. Something.
So there are no white highlights?
Correct.
Okay,
There are no
I
whites.
think it looks better without
Yeah.
that. It look,
Yeah, so the faces of the letters will be digitally printed and laminated vinyl placed on the dimensional PVC letters.
perfect.
And there'll be the blue color solid with the darker blue outline
Great.
around each one.
Okay. All right, I think we've crafted this sign during this discussion.
Yeah, now we have 2 more signs.
Well-
There's a door sign and a building sign.
Well, the door sign,
The back sign is the exact same sign, so however we fabricate the front one, we're gonna do the exact same thing on the back. And this will be flush mounted, straight to the wall, bolted to the wall. And again, the lighting will be external. It'll be the same LED bar on some posts off the building and shining up onto the building, so no downlight at all.
okay. Any other questions for the applicant?
And the door sign, the same, just a smaller version?
The door sign, and we can have a separate discussion about that one. It's really just gonna be a plaque.
Okay.
The way we have it currently planned is just a plaque with a graphic on the front of it. So it's not two-dimensional on the door.
Okay.
And it doesn't have it does or doesn't have the oyster and the knife down there?
It will have the
Looks like
oyster.
it does,
It
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask, is there any public comment about this applicant this morning? Any public comment? All right, no public comment. Do you plan, thinking ahead, do you plan to have some outdoor seating?
There was outdoor seating there with South Main Kitchen. The tables and chairs I still have, and I plan on using those at the new
Use
place,
those then, okay.
at Chuck and Shack as
I
well.
was thinking, I know some of the other locations had some tiki hut kind of umbrellas out front, and some of the other franchisee folks apparently did that, so.
I'm sensing resistance to that.
Is your outside seating just on the side or in the front also?
Well, there is seating on the side
Yeah.
that's existing. There's tables that are there. But this seating, the tables come in and out at night. But I have no plans to, on the outside,
Okay.
introduce any tiki sort of
Okay,
vibe
and-
to it. Inside, potentially.
That's fair game, that's, okay. Are you planning to do anything else to the exterior of the building? As you,
I'm planning to. I had a rendering for the right side of the door window there to create a pass-through where you wanted to extend the bar to the window and then have a pass-through kind of garage door, open, close, similar to what they have across the street at the Standard. But my understanding now is that it requires city council variance approval first and then potentially subsequent DRB approval after that.
Do you have that?
I
Do you
didn't
have
bring it.
in your presentation, Jim? No?
No, I had the engineer and architect were going to come today, but when I talked, I nixed
Is
all
it
that.
taking all 3 of the windows or part of the window?
All 3 windows will be removed,
And so it will be all one like roll-up garage door similar to Currahee?
correct,
Okay.
correct.
Right,
And then there
just
would
so-
be a bar area. It would be built up enough where you would have bar stools and a ledge that would be the same height as the bar on the inside.
My thought, and we don't need to get into it here, but my thought is for you, when you go to do your stuff for city council, is you're gonna wanna, I think this board's probably gonna wanna see symmetry between the 2 sides. So think if this is gonna look like a garage door, maybe that one should too.
You talking about left of the door and right of the door?
Yes.
You could
Okay.
still achieve that.
Yeah.
through, like mullions and things like
Yeah,
that.
you wouldn't have to necessarily do the door, although I think that would be cool. But I think, yeah, you're gonna wanna look at mullions or whatever to break up the window over there like you will on the other side.
Okay, so you're saying whatever we do on the right, try to mock something up on the left that
Yes.
has
Even if it's
continuity
a
between the
different
two.
function.
Currie's a
Yeah.
good example.
Yeah, Curry's a good example.
That works really well for them.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look at theirs. I was looking at the standards and then the one down the street at Smoke Jack, but, and Fogo and Lion, that was another one that had a
Yeah.
similar kind of look, but got it. That makes sense. That's the only other exterior change currently I have plans to make, although that one with the 3-month, if it's gonna take that long to go through city council, I may have to defer that, because I gotta get open before 3 months, ideally.
What's your timetable for opening?
My head timetable is March.
March?
My reality timetable is determined by events like this.
Is March an oyster month or not?
We could get into a larger conversation about that being, whether there are months that end in R being, but there are oysters 24 or 12 months out of the year, depending on where you're farming them from, and there's oyster farms as well. So we will have oysters 12 months out of the year. And to be clear, we're calling it an oyster bar, but this is a full seafood menu you probably have seen from the other Shuck and Shacks you've seen online there. Crab legs, fresh fish, shrimp, po' boy sandwiches. We also have burgers and chicken strips for people that don't want seafood.
Okay, very good. All right. Anybody want to craft a motion?
Public comment?
Yeah.
Did you do that? Okay, I was waiting for that. Okay, Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 240047, Shuck and Shack Oyster Bar. Motion to approve the signs as presented today with the following conditions. For the building signs, the backer boards will have a weathered look, similar to the front door with final approval by staff. The vertical supports for the sign on the canopy will be fabricated to look like distressed wood posts with final approval by staff. And the oyster and knife will be sculpted to be three-dimensional. End of motion.
That's good.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Swing and second by Mr. Rowan. Any comments or questions about the motion? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed, no opposition. Motion passes 7-0. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Happy
Appreciate it.
holidays.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, yes, here's some, yep. Or does staff need them? We'll take your,
If you want your samples back, yeah. Use them for another board or another time.
I'll tell you what, let's take a short recess.
Thank you.
We'll allow the next applicant to come on up and get set up, and some board members can, we hope so. You can at least start, right? You can at least start. Okay, all right. Rob, okay, thank you. There may be some more, Pat, you want to give them back your samples? Okay. You doing all right?
Oh, well, I am going to be passing a lot of stuff out as things start coming my way. I'll be, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I fell in love with this place in North Carolina. I don't know how I fell in love with the place in order. It took a while. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. 62 years.
Just put them on the front of it. Password.
Captain 380.
To Captain 380.
Yeah, capital C. My grandbabies. How do we connect up to you?
They'll switch it over once. That's what you're doing.
Right, yeah, so that's why I think that gray one, I like this one, yeah, I like that one. I think then that way too, the fountain, that greenish, gray concrete tie into that too, white fence and gates would be white. Right? The gates in the residential.
So you speak, I'll drive. I started having a panic attack.
Okay, let's end our recess this morning and get going with our next applicant. And our next applicant is Kingsley. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Brian Bodeshan. My address is 1665 Patrick Mill Place, Beaufort, Georgia. We're bringing to you Kingsley, the new subdivision coming to Alpharetta. You guys don't need to applause, but we're bringing it anyway. This subdivision has been going on for a little while. Some of you may have heard of it. Not the name, but it's been active for the last 4 years. We're here to take it over the finish line and get this thing up and running and get people living here. So we're going to start our little presentation here, and so you tell us what you want to see.
Why don't you start, just get us oriented.
Okay.
Review the site plan for us.
All right. So we have a site plan. We have 11 single-family homes and 6 townhomes. It's on backs up to the Alpha Loop. So what we've done, we've been working with staff over the last 6 to 8 months to try to get everything correct. I don't know what. So we're going to start Lot 1 and Lot 7, but we're going to start construction on the 6 townhouses first. But we're asking for approval for Lot 1 and Lot 7 as of today. Next slide. Are there any questions on the site plan?
So you're asking for approval on the townhomes and Lot 1 and Lot 7?
Correct.
Okay, the 6 townhomes that are back by the Alpha Loop, and then
Correct.
the Thompson Street facing. Okay.
Will you be constructing the amenity area in conjunction with the townhouses?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Alpha Loop will be done at the same time.
Okay, let me just do this a minute so we start off. I'm going to read the council conditions that deal with the design review board. How about that? So
Okay.
Just to give everybody kind of a lay of the land. All right, there are a number of council conditions that were established. I think there was like 27 council conditions, yes.
Correct.
That were approved. This is council condition number 2. I'll read it out loud. Architecture and materials shall be developed substantially similar to the submitted renderings, except for modifications required to comply with these conditions and in compliance with the Alpharetta Downtown Code, subject to final approval by DRB. Detached homes shall include a mix of flat and gabled roofs. Townhomes shall have flat roofs, be oriented to the Alpha Loop, and include 4-sided architecture and materials as approved by DRB. So that was council condition number 2.
Correct.
Council condition number 3. Detached lots shall generally utilize existing grades and include decorative walls, in parentheses, brick and/or stone, as depicted on the submitted renderings with final approval by DRB. And so those are the 2 conditions I could find that mentioned design review board in them. The rest were mostly approval by staff, review and approval by staff. So, okay. Okay, walk us through kind of buildings or homes 1 and 7, please.
All right. By the way, as you can see behind me, we have our whole team with us. Our architect, our civil engineer, and our landscape architect.
Thanks for being prepared.
So what you have on the screen is Lot 1.
Okay, so this is the home on Lot 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see, looks like elevation number 3 is what faces Thompson Street, correct? That's the larger one on the right-hand side.
Correct.
Okay. And then elevation, the front elevation, all right, that's the Kingsley Drive elevation. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
All right. I did see somewhere in here, I'm trying to figure out how the pool works. Where is the pool located on one of these elevations? Just trying to, how that, works with the architecture. and-
He's wanting to see it on this though, so we don't have it depicted.
On the elevation, it will be on the back side.
Which elevation has the pool?
It would be,
It's an interior pool,
Oh, it's interior.
yes.
So it's in, so you, all right. Okay, all right.
So we'll take a corner of the building. That section could be 8 by 12, would be
Yes,
the
it's a very
size of the
small
pool.
pool,
Be the size of the pool.
So it's
If they
indoor,
want it.
essentially, okay. I was thinking it was an outdoor pool. All right. Okay, so
These lots are
why don't
posted.
you walk us through, looking at the right side elevation, the Thompson Street elevation, walk us through what the materials are from the ground up to the, say, the roof, so that we can, and if you have some samples, maybe somebody can hold those up while you're describing them, please.
That's the, my name is Samuel Kimani, I'm the project architect. And that's the base, that's a stone that's going to be from the ground up to the second floor.
All right, so essentially the first floor is a stone base,
Yes,
all right?
Is that also the chimney?
and the chimney.
And the chimney, okay.
And you're going to be using this stone base throughout most of the homes. So we're going to keep that as an element that's going to be tying the whole development.
Okay.
And what's the color do you have called for this? Do you know? And this is a brick on top of it. So there are only those two, for the walls, the two primary materials is going to be the brick and the stone.
This will be your workout for the day.
Okay. All right. Let's get, and then how about, what is the roof? You got shingles, roof shingles, I guess that's an architectural shingle for the roof,
Architectural shingles, yes. Weathered wood.
all right? And then kind of describe to us some of the details around maybe the windows or the doors, or what are you planning to do in those areas?
it's a clad window. We're doing an Anderson architecture series with a clad window in black.
Okay, all right,
And then they'll have a masonry header, which will be, we're planning to use the brick as a header.
okay, looks like some of the headers are more horizontal and some have a little bit of an arch to them.
Yeah, the second floor is going to have an arch. The top floor is going to be flat.
Okay, very good. And then how about on the first floor? What are the headers of the windows and/or if you scroll down a little bit, I'm looking at the trying to Thompson Street view, yes. So, there we go, okay. All right, how about the headers for the windows and the doors on the first floor?
That's going to be a stone header.
Stone header, okay.
Yes, sir.
Same color, kind of,
The same color as the stone, we're just going to be a
Okay.
flat piece without the texture, without the three-dimensional texture.
very good. And then how about the cornice and the brackets and the railings and the posts and all, what color is that?
We're planning to have all that painted white.
So that's white, okay?
Yes.
What material is? It's wood or aluminum?
Most of the trim is, trim pieces are going to be fiber cement panels.
What about the railings? Are those aluminum or?
The railings would be aluminum.
Okay, so aluminum railings, and they're painted white?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The columns, for instance, are painted white as well?
The columns will be painted white.
And when you say white, are you referring to this floor de sel color?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Looking at the front view rendering that we have on our monitor or screen, the first floor, it looks like above the windows, up near the second floor there, almost looks like that's not stone, but it's some sort of, right there at the bottom of the monitor, on the right-hand side. Yes.
Looks like
kinda
masonry.
Looks like brick soldier courses almost.
Oh, here.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be brick soldier houses.
So as you turn the corner, then you're changing from the stone in the upper areas to a brick soldier course.
Yeah, when we were working on it, we had the sample we'd gotten from the manufacturer. The stone and the brick are very close. Looking at the final sample, we'll probably end up just using stone, not the brick. So we can.
Yeah, that kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, the second floor balcony, that is a occupiable balcony. You can walk out on that balcony and walk around. It's not just for looks. It's usable.
The one facing the Thompson Street is going to be all usable.
Okay, and as well as the third floor balcony too. So.
As well as the third floor balcony.
Okay. All right. Let's look at, let's look at the west elevation of this building. Let's see, which one would that be? I guess you don't really have a rendering of that. Or, there it is. I guess it's what you're calling the
Rear left?
rear. Is that right?
Rear
Okay.
left?
Rear left.
So you're asking for the one, if you're facing the building from Thompson Street, the one to the left, that will be the one.
Okay. Yeah, I just gotta get myself oriented.
Towards the neighbor's house.
Yeah, on the opposite side would be the entrance from Kingsley.
So that's the side that goes to downtown.
Yes.
And I guess that siding up on the roof windows and then the, is that gonna be that paint?
Dormers.
On the dormers,
Yeah, the
yeah, that would be.
Thank you. That's the same color as all of that is that same white color.
Yes.
Okay.
And the lot next, the lot number 7 will have that siding as a predominant material.
So and then looking at that, we're looking at the monitor on the very, very far left. It looks like there's some siding there for the third floor, or is that the second?
Second and third floor.
So that's siding right there.
Yes. We had to, because of the character of the French colonial house, we had to make it a certain way. But the demand for the lot, we had to fill up that lot. So we took that element so that we can highlight the French colonial architecture and then have that stand out to fill up the lot.
That one doesn't have as strong of a visibility
I
as,
guess not, unless you're coming, well, if you're coming from,
yeah, but
Yeah,
there's
it's
other
back.
buildings that.
Yeah, there's a
is
building
not
10
facing
feet from it.
okay,
I'm not a fan, but
okay.
is that a flat roof over that piece?
That's going to be a flat roof.
Okay. All right. Any questions about building 1?
Just kind of curious, that section, the siding, what's it, is that a room? That's a room of the house and there's no window?
Might be a closet.
Yeah, so I'm trying to just,
Or the section of the siding is a room. There are two floors of
yeah,
space
what room is that that's in,
there. We
No?
do have bathrooms on that side.
yeah, so.
Yes, bathrooms and walk-in
I
closets.
guess we won't see it that much, but it would look better with a window, of course.
Yes.
So one comment I had, I like the design a lot, especially along Thompson Street, but I feel like the rusticated, the base that goes around and this building, both on the front elevation as well as the Thompson Street elevation, the columns that you have don't seem more so on Thompson Street, don't seem to have a strong enough cornice line.
Okay.
I didn't realize it until I really studied the elevation, I mean, the perspective. On the front elevation, which is Kingsley Drive or whatever you call it, it helps that there is some kind of masonry or some kind of header inserted, but on Thompson Street, it seems like it needs a stronger cornice line or header versus that thin wood trim.
Yeah.
So on the monitor we're looking at there, that just above at the top of the first floor is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That
It's
cornice
very,
for that.
it seems very.
Yeah, on the way I do get what you're saying. The way we worked out that on the front, we did need that thick, depth because of the floor structure. On the side, we did not. But I do get it. We can match the same, because on the side facing Thompson Street, that was just a shallow balcony. So the framing for that was 2x12s, while on the other side we had 2 feet deep.
So that's why you did it on the
front.
Okay.
Yes, but we can have the same effect on this.
I think it needs something to give it a stronger base, and I don't think it would be. And honestly, and this is just a recommendation, I wouldn't vary from the material that you're using at the base. You know, I don't know if that soldier course design adds much. You're getting a nice relief with it, but I suppose that's kind of up to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Did we have a sample of the roof? Did you have a roof sample? What shingles you're proposing?
We didn't bring one. We have included in the rendering, but we didn't bring one.
Okay. All right, anything else for house number 1? Let's go, all right, let's look at house number 7 then, please. Okay. All right, let's look at where's the Thompson Street elevation, okay? Okay, so this is Thompson Street, house number 7, all right? And again, just make sure, describe the materials to us again, please, so that we understand.
We'll be using the same stone.
Okay, same stone?
Same stone on the base, the first floor and the chimney.
Okay, very good, same stone, all right.
The rest of the house is going to be siding.
So that'll be the
fiber cement siding.
hardy plank or the fiber cement board.
Yes, sir.
It looks like on the garage level, the inset looks like brick. Is that just?
The inside, yeah, it is brick. And again, it's going to be one of these.
The same brick?
Yeah, they all look similar.
Oh, that's a different brick?
Yeah, it is a different brick. Yeah.
And
But the same,
Paula,
same stone?
You're referring to the recessed area.
The recessed area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was presented at the zoning had a wraparound porch. We can't afford to have that just because of the sizes of the homes. So we chose to have a different brick and recessed it a little bit to create the same effect without sacrificing all that square footage.
How far does it recess back?
Right now, we're just pushing it a foot.
A foot?
Yes.
Yeah, so that shadow line.
But the central part is actually a porch. That's where we have a front door, and we are linking that front door to the Thompson Street. We do have a gate off of Thompson Street leading up to that front door.
I'm sorry, so the front door entrance is recessed more than a foot?
That's actually 5 feet. It's a full
5-foot
porch.
recess.
Yeah, that's a full
Assume
porch.
the flanking areas
Yes.
there are 1 foot recessed.
Yes. If you have a rendering, if you go to the first one.
And
The
are all
front.
those operable doors?
Yeah, they're all operable doors.
Just trying to get to the colors.
All right, let's see where we, all right, there we go.
Yeah, this- Yeah.
And are those doors, it looks like they're stained wood? That center front door, is that stained wood?
Yes. Yeah. We might end up, you end up using the same material we're using for the.
It's all, it's gonna be Anderson doors and windows, all it is.
Yeah.
And all three of those doors are operable?
All of them are operable. Actually, the one to the right of the porch that's behind that, that's where we have the indoor pool.
Indoor,
I didn't hear. So
indoor,
yes, all three of them are operable, you can step in, step out?
Yes, yes, sir.
The indoor pool is behind the one on the right.
wow.
Oh, I see, okay.
But they're not wood doors like it looks. They're clad, just like,
Clad, yes, sir.
Yeah,
just
clad,
like the
aluminum clad.
windows that you showed before.
But, and even the center one?
Yeah, we might end up with a different treatment. They can do that sort of wood look, but it's going to be aluminum on the outside.
Okay.
I do agree with the comment that Mr. Rowland made, that the first floor arched areas, arches, need some sort of header.
Because from a constructability perspective, unless you have a curved steel plate, and also to kind of match the style that you guys have done such a good job representing, you need to have some kind of corbelled header on there. And it probably needs to drop a little bit so that you still have the continuation of the stone across the top, so it doesn't like bump into the wood trim. But I think that would add a lot of character, and you're gonna have to do something anyway. You know, you can't just cut the stone to the curve.
Yeah, yeah. If you do a header, we would still want to keep the depth, the height between the horizontal trim and the header. So we'll end up lowering the arch.
A little bit.
Yes.
And you'll still have a good clearance from those doors. And then at the center part where you have the transom glass from the street, it might cover it a little bit, but it'll be recessed back enough that I don't know. That's, I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah. One of the reasons we didn't add a header, it does add a lot of dramatic effect to this, which sort of was slightly different from what was presented as zoning, and what the initial statement was we were supposed to keep to what had been presented. But I do agree, if we add a header, it does add character to it.
Okay.
One other comment.
How true to grade are these elevations? In other words, is it relatively flat? So are you stepping up into these homes, are you stepping down, or is it relatively flat?
From Thompson Street, you actually immediately after, if you can go to the original rendering from the street. No, the rendering from the street. Thompson Street is 2 feet below the first floor. So you're going to have 2 steps at the gate here, that rendering, if you go to that rendering. That, yes. So at the...
Wall is a retaining wall.
That is a retaining wall, a 2-foot retaining wall. The lawn behind that is going to be flat, and then about 14 inches to the house.
Okay. And then, I'm jumping ahead, but, and so if all those doors are operable, you can step in, step out, and you don't have to get to right this moment, but does the landscape outside react to being able to step in and out of that, or not?
Yeah, we're going to have a little patio to allow for that transition between inside and outside, yes.
Patios on all the doors?
Yes, sir.
Can I add one more comment related to those?
Sorry about jumping in there.
Oh, no, that's good. Related to the arches, there's one kind of lone arch on the east elevation, which is kind of the back of the house, but it's got a lot of prominence along Thompson Street. I'd like to recommend that the spring point of that arch matches the other arches, because currently it's shown.
Which one are you?
I'm sorry, I'm talking about the north elevation.
North.
there's a lone arch on the opposite side. There, oh, you just missed it. There it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the bottom left.
The bottom left, the
Okay.
left side, I think that spring point of the arch
This is different.
needs to match the other arches.
Yeah.
All the other arches
Yeah.
are the same.
That was an error. Yeah.
That's actually on the north elevation, so it doesn't matter as much.
No, we will make it match the rest of them.
Okay, let's go back to the Thompson Street elevation, just to make sure we got everything clear and understanding. Let's go look at the second and third floors. It's almost like you need to reverse. I think the statement was made in the workshop session. The second floor, you've got the nice doors and the clear story above those doors. It's almost like they need to be on the third floor, and then what's on the third floor, bring that storefront or those windows down to the second floor, but, or just,
Are those bedrooms on the third floor?
On the third floor, the top floor is the bedrooms. The second floor, that's where all the living spaces are.
And are those like, is it like a nano wall, like a folding wall system on the third floor?
On the third floor, yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
On the third floor, yes, we have folding walls.
The issue that we discussed at the workshop was that, related to the architecture, that the city council approved drawings, and then also in this kind of vernacular, the opening size diminishes as you get higher in the building, whereas in this elevation, it's kind of reversed, so you have this larger opening on the top level and smaller ones below.
Yeah.
And the recommendation was made, can you flip those so that your nano walls are on the public or the living area, and that you have more of a French door with or without transoms on the city council drawings actually had a double hung window up there with shutters, which I thought added nice character and whatnot. But I understand if you want to get more light, and then you added these balconies, which are nice also, that you want to have access to them, so.
Yeah, and I do like the idea of having the nano walls on the main floor. We can still have transom on top of them, but being able to open up, it will allow the living spaces to extend out into the balconies.
On the second floor?
On the second floor.
Yeah, that, I agree.
Yeah, we can do that.
okay?
Will it be okay if we matched what we have on the second floor, as opposed to having the third floor windows being narrow? Can we have them matching, second floor and third floor?
So have nano walls on the second and the third floor?
Yes, only the second floor will have a transom, so they'll be taller, while the third floor will not have a transom.
All right, so say that again now, so the nano walls that are on the third floor come down to the second floor.
Yes.
With a transom. With a transom.
With a transom, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely improves versus what's here today. And the fact that the second floor will have the transom gives it some additional variation and some height, and I think that would be fine.
Yeah, the ceiling on the first and the second floor is
higher,
12 feet. On the third floor is only 10 feet, 10-foot ceiling.
And it would be nice when you have those doors open to have
All
that
open,
transom
yes.
glass still going across.
Okay, all right, and we've kind of have we looked at all four sides? I guess we have. We talked about that one, the north.
What about the light fixtures? Do you have cut sheets or on those lantern fixtures?
Not at this time.
Something more traditional than.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
Than is shown.
Yeah.
Yeah. With, whoever was working on the rendering couldn't get something that was matching what we were looking for.
Very good. All right, let's take a look now. Let's jump back. Can we have to look at the townhomes, right?
Can I just
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
interject on the nano wall? And I don't know what you guys think from an architecture standpoint, but those nano walls to me they feel very modern. It's big panes of glass. Can they be done with mullions, or should they be done with mullions to more sort of match the style? Or are you guys?
That's a good
What do you think? Are
point.
you guys good with just? It just feels like it's just going to be big panes of glass when you do
Can
it
it
on
be
the top
grid
and the
glass?
bottom. That's what I'm wondering.
Put some styles in it.
Should there
Put
be?
some grid-
Yeah.
I think we put some grids in it.
I think it would
We'll
fit.
break it up.
It would look more with the style of the house, wouldn't it?
I
And
agree.
make it look more traditional looking.
As long as they all match.
Can you do that? Can you put some grids into the nano wall panels to make it, to break it up a little bit, so that it's not a large expanse of glass that we're.
Yeah, we can sort of, we'll minimize the number of grids to match what we have in the windows. So we can have maybe, just for every bay, we have an extra vertical.
And some horizontals.
And one or two horizontals.
Yeah, you could do that, break it up.
I think we're getting comments from our two architects, which we'll have to use in this case as our experts. So if that comes forward into the motion, I really need to know that you two, well, all four of you are that we're staying with the style of the house presented and shown with changing those over to gridded.
Okay.
So if that moves forward into your motion.
Got it. Okay, all right. Anything else about homes 1 and 7? Yes, okay, let's do that. I know Ms. Palmer has to leave very soon. All right, let's stay with the architecture and go back to the townhomes that are back by the Alpha Loop, because I think that was another council condition, or part of the council condition. To be oriented to the Alpha Loop. Townhomes shall have flat roofs, be oriented to the Alpha Loop, and include 4-sided architecture and materials as approved by DRB. So.
Where is the Alpha Loop?
Alpha Loop is the backside of the townhomes.
All right, just, can you flip quickly back to the site plan, just to make sure we're all getting oriented to the right?
It's directly behind that.
Mm-hmm.
The rendering.
Okay, here we go. There we go. Oops. All right, so there's 6 townhomes, TH1 through TH6, and then there's the Alpha Loop back there. Okay. So these are the townhomes that we now need to look at as part of one of the council conditions.
It's on your property, the Alpha Loop.
Yes.
So you got that granted you. Okay.
Okay? All right. Gotta make sure we got 4-sided architecture and materials. Okay, so looking at the front elevation, top left, that's, the Alpha Loop is behind the building, right? Okay,
Yes.
so this is the first 3.
Yeah, these are the two townhomes will be similar, other than the color of the brick and the siding. But the two houses are going to be similar. They're going to be laid out the same way.
So 1 through 3 and 4 through 6 are gonna be similar?
Yeah, it's going to be the same building over.
Very good. All right, walk us through, again, can you talk to us about the materials that we have on the front elevation? Just what's from starting at the ground level going up?
Yeah, we're using the same, we're carrying on the same combination of material. We're using the stone.
Okay, we have stone as the base, first floor base. Okay, that's the stone we've seen on buildings 1 and 7, very good. Okay. You're doing a good job of juggling all the materials up there.
And then we're going to keep the same bricks you're using on the house. We're going to use some of the same brick here and add one more. And we're going to have the same siding on this center unit.
Okay, so on the front elevation, the far left, the upper two floors are brick.
Yes, sir.
On townhome 1.
On the front, the side, and the back.
Okay, and then for townhome 2, which is the center of townhome,
it'll
cement siding.
Siding on the front and siding on the back.
All right, and then for townhome 3,
it's going to be brick on the front, side, and the back.
Okay. All right, very good.
And we're just going to mix these bricks for wherever we use on townhome 1 through 3, we're going to use a separate set of finishes, but the same veneer, just a different color on the other 4 through 6.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I need to head out.
Yes, you're excused. Happy holidays. Thank you, Holly. Okay. Then if we shift to the right side elevation, we are looking at the townhouse number 1. We're looking east, I guess, right? That's, yeah.
The right side elevation shown here, that's townhome number 3 or townhome number 6.
Number 3 okay, because it gets, the alpha loop is low.
It's the lowest part.
Okay, I'm sorry. Then we're looking, right side is looking kind of westward, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm having to walk myself through these, okay? All right, then let's look at the lower elevations. All right, so
the left side is townhome number 1 and townhome number 4.
Okay, got it. And then the left side elevation over here, that's what faces the alpha
loop.
Okay.
So basically, just 1 to 3 and 4 to 6 are the same?
Yeah, there'll be there's a slight distinction at the lower level, just because of the grading.
Of the grade.
Yeah. So 1 through 3 are going to have a stepping, basement that is going to be stepping down. So this basement ceiling is going to.
So the materials are the same.
The material component.
Even the bricks are you're going to use the same brick on 1 and 3 as you use on 4 and 6?
No, we'll use brick, but not the same.
So you're going to vary the brick?
We'll vary the brick.
Okay, all right. And you're going to have, and 2 and 5 are both siding?
2 and 5 are going to be siding. We'll probably change the tone of the color as opposed from white to probably a gray, but the same siding.
Okay, so different bricks and different color siding, same stone base?
Same stone base.
On all of them?
Yeah. And the garage doors, we're thinking we could have the same style but different patterns on the garage doors.
You don't have all those details worked out on what the garage doors are going to look like and exactly what colors?
Yeah, what you're showing is one of them. Yeah, they are different.
So that's what they would look like?
Yeah, that's how the manufacturer we're working with, those are some of the panels they have.
And they're painted?
They're painted.
They're painted, okay.
What was the decision to go with the siding versus, I know this city council drawings were all masonry. They were a lot more monolithic looking, and I like the introduction of some individuality in the units.
Yeah.
But what was the decision-making process to add siding in the middle units?
We started off with what we had on the first 2 units and just use that language, and we're going to be using that language throughout. So on lot number 1 is predominantly brick, lot number 7 is predominantly siding, and we just kept that sort of language throughout.
I'm not so opposed to changing from the cement board siding to brick. I think what we need to make sure we do is the differentiation as one material goes to the next. we do something to transition, if you follow me. It looks like it's just from the cement board to brick, it looks like it just.
No, right now, the center unit is actually pulled back 2 feet.
Pulled back.
Yeah, so it's actually, from the front, it's pulled forward 2
Okay.
feet.
Oh, okay.
So there is some depth differentiation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I agree, I mean, the corners that, the brick.
Yeah, if,
Instead just the continual low block that's shown.
No.
I think that the change in depth
Helps.
actually helps a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Both on the front and the Alpha Loop side, where it's kind of recessed back.
Yep.
yeah.
Plus, in fact, you're gonna have some corner boards there too on the side, on the cement side, and you're gonna have some sort of.
Yeah, you'll need some kind of closure trim,
Yep.
vertical trim piece.
At the corner?
At where it intersects the brick, otherwise you won't have a good
Yeah.
seal there.
What is that depth change? What's that dimension? Just out of
2 feet.
curiosity. 2 feet?
2 feet, yes.
That's a
2
good,
feet, that's pretty good.
that's pretty substantial, okay.
So the siding will turn the corner. So you're gonna have an actual trim board
Yes.
on the corners, so the siding will turn and you'll still see some siding going back to the brick.
Yeah, it seems like it'll be about 20 inches of siding.
Of siding.
And then a 4-inch trim board or something like that.
Yeah, because of the thickness of the brick, yeah, it will reduce the 24 to 20 inches.
Do we have colors, like paint colors of the shutters and? Shutters.
Oh, we have this one.
And the standing seam metal roof?
Yeah.
But you said the Arctic white was not gonna be the siding color, you said it'd be more gray.
The lot number 2 will be that, will be white, but lot number 5 will be a gray, just a different tone.
Is that reflected on that elevation for 5?
Oh, what we're showing is just for that block, the 1 through 3.
So there's no elevation 4 through 6 that
It's going to,
is telling,
yeah.
that's showing what you're telling me?
No, we haven't done that. It's going to be the same. Yeah, we didn't do the same.
And shutter colors?
Yeah, for middle units. Oh, we're going to go with, we wanted to go with black, but it's showing gray, but we'd prefer to go with black. Black on white. No, it's not.
The reason I ask is because that's what the city's gonna be
Yeah.
going back to.
Yeah, we had, we called out everything but the shadows. I think we added shadows towards the end, and we didn't call them out.
So Brett, I'm looking at staff, would that be helpful for you to have all of the materials identified and/or the colors in the various townhomes? And
I think especially on these townhomes, I mean, I'm just noticing that it says the window frames are gonna be black, and they're not on the drawing. So I think,
Yeah.
I think if he can, I think I would prefer that either it's a black and white call out exactly right beside each material, or give me a color rendering that
Reflects
that reflects what you're doing. So you could do either or, but I really need it spelled right out so that when I go out there to do your final, it's really easy. We don't have to look on front page and notes and this and that, and yeah.
Are all
One or the other.
windows black?
It says on here that the window frames are black.
I mean, it seems like we're missing a lot of colors, right? The trim color, the garage door colors, the shutter color, the cornice, the standing seam roof. We don't have a shingle roof sample, so there's a lot of details here that we don't have as far as color.
We had the shingle was called out in the lot number 1.
Talking about a sample.
We don't have.
Yeah,
a-
but
Oh,
the
the sample.
actual color and design of the shingle.
We don't
and-
have a sample to look at. And I'm sure you're gonna pick I mean, you wanna pick attractive colors, but we can't specifically approve it because we don't have it.
Brett, I mean, you wouldn't, is it possible to approve the project and have them come back with color samples that would allow them to get going?
I think so, but I think,
Well, like, for instance, construction or get further.
move through their LDP. Site plan's already done, yeah.
Okay.
So we're good there. So they can be moving forward on that stuff. However, just the way it goes, we generally like to see at the beginning what all.
Also like to see light fixtures and stuff.
The trouble is with the advertising, we've got, a month and a half before they can wrap stuff up.
What's your construction schedule?
But I mean, realistically, they're not gonna get the painting the building,
Well,
painting
not only
trim.
that, but even they're gonna frame for a couple months, the masonry itself, I mean, they have to order those materials.
Yeah, I think the masonry and the windows are one thing. The paint colors, the trim colors, things like that, I think that kind of stuff, we could hit it at the next meeting.
Right.
But I think if we could get the hard colors, the masonry and the windows, because that'll have to be ordered.
So have you started, has LDP been approved? No, we got nothing.
Yeah.
We have, LDP hasn't been approved.
So is
What process you have for that?
If it-
What round of submittals of LDP are you at? Well, I've entered money.
He's the engineer.
Brian Cole with BC Engineering. We hadn't submitted it yet, as far as submitted the LDP, because we had to get through this.
But so this process, DRB review for architecture is not holding up your work. This is not.
No, we're about half, just so you know, we're about halfway completed with the LDP. We just haven't submitted it yet, because we were waiting for, so.
All right, we're just kind of talking too, so because of the way we have to advertise and everything, the next time we would see them, if we do a deferral of some sort, I mean, I think this is a good cursory review, because you're getting our comments and understanding what we're looking at and making sure you guys are having the colors and the samples and all that, but it would be February 21st.
Right.
So would be the next time we would see you. But I think you've gotten some great comments from us. I mean, it's a great development. It looks very good. We're diving into the details, and some of the details you guys haven't quite figured out yet, but
Sure.
It's very close.
I think it's a great project too.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay, yeah. All right, so,
I had a question on the rest of the development.
okay.
When we're coming back, could we have those in the same manner, have them approved conceptually, so that we don't have to come in for each individual house?
Yeah, that would be a great strategy to have then. So you have your kind of your theme.
Yes.
Right, for the other houses. We're real concerned about 1 and 7. That's what we really looked at today.
Okay.
In the townhomes, but yes, what's your theme for
the rest of them?
Through the ones that are behind 1 and 7.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing optional is gonna be on the inside. We're not gonna let the clients pick the outside, so we'll get that.
Oh, so you'll have the outside already determined?
Yes. and
Oh,
then
wow, okay.
then the
Well,
outside,
then that'd
the
be great
insides.
that'd be great for us and great for you, if once you establish that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yes. Okay, before we jump to some landscaping and kind of a few site things, is there anything else on the architectural, the exterior elevations and materials?
I agree with Brett, though, if you can have an elevation that has all the specific call-outs pointing to all the materials.
Okay.
It helps us, and we have samples that follow back to those call-outs, and it helps the city staff as well.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, good. Okay, anything else? All right, let's look at kind of the site and some landscaping, if we can, please.
Sarah's here, so put her to work.
Earn her money.
So the next 5 slides are you, so you choose.
Maybe we'll hand out for maybe easier off.
Sure. No, that'd be great. Sarah Spencer here to represent Frawley Associates Landscape Architects, and my home address is 1021 St. Charles Avenue Northeast, Unit D, Atlanta, Georgia 30306.
Sarah, let me interrupt you real quick.
Yes.
So
Yes.
landscape and site plan have already basically either been approved by city council or come to staff. So I think what I asked Sarah to do is basically just kind of run through it so that y'all can give staff some thoughts on where we're at. You know, I know everybody likes to talk about the thematic thing along Thompson Street and stuff like that. So we're not looking for an approval, but great comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always ask questions, yeah, because, I text David and said, get your hat ready because you're gonna pull your hair out, so.
Okay, and then also too, though, but we have to look at detached lots shall generally utilize existing grades and include decorative walls, brick and or stone.
Yeah, so you're gonna look at the hard stuff.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
Which is probably matching that particular lot anyway, so yeah.
very good. All right, Sarah.
All right.
Yours.
So I guess I'll look this way a little bit, or the screen in front of me. So the streetscape is going to be that continuation of the enhanced brick and concrete band 6-foot sidewalk with the planters there, and then we're actually going to do a little bit of a low shrub planting in front of a low stone, masonry wall with white picket fence as shown in this rendering, with masonry columns then there kind of at the end and to flank the pedestrian connection into Lot 1 and Lot 7, and then the wing walls with the signage into the development. As far as the landscape material, we're going to do larger Nuttall oaks. They're not shown in this rendering, otherwise you wouldn't see the buildings. But there are planter trees there in those bump outs for the parallel parking. And then those islands will be planted with shrubs and evergreen ground cover. And then we also have fig ivy proposed to kind of grow up and kind of give that kind of softened characteristic along the brick walls there along Thompson Street. And then also you would have more trees than per the landscape plan there for the 10-foot landscape strip that will start just behind the wall. And I think to kind of go back to Pat's question earlier about how that ties in with the landscape, at the farthest west of Lot 1 and Lot 7, it's a little tighter there. It's a little bit of a pinch point for the landscape strip, which we can't have turf grass in, so it'll be kind of softer evergreens, some ornamental grasses, and then the trees. But then there will be areas with turf grass or ground cover there, kind of right there at the doorways, to kind of help bring the inside out, if you will, I guess, with those lower doorways. Let's see, I guess that's kind of it. I guess before we move on, would there be any questions then for the Thompson Street streetscape? All right.
So just a comment out of the chute is, originally when this was first presented to council, the front of the building themselves, it had porches, right? It had almost an arcade, if you will. So there was patio space under there, is that correct?
I do believe you're right, but I think the picture would help. Glad you have it.
So those were patio spaces, correct?
Would appear so in the rendering, but I can't
Well,
speak
I'm asking
to that.
someone who knows. Does anybody know?
No, that wasn't drawn by any of the architects here.
So
That would have been Tracy Ward, now we have Sam.
But, so nobody knows if that was patio spaces?
No.
And it wasn't in any of the conditions that said it was or anything like that.
Okay,
So it's
so the disservice here is those patio spaces in the front of the homes has disappeared. That's the first, so anyway, and then,
Yeah, we maintained
and then if you've got step out doors, you're stepping out into just landscape, and like Sarah said, on the far end, the west end, you're stepping into a tree. So, anyway, I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure how staff or code reads as far as exterior doors stepping into that kind of a space, stepping down. So I'm not sure the landscape reacts to the doors. I'm sure the doors react to the actual conditions.
Yeah, the exterior doors will have to step onto hard. 4 feet. They won't be able to.
Right. So the next part of that is there are projects where they say you cannot have more patios in this. Is this overlay?
It's in the downtown.
So you need to look at the code if you can even have a patio space in that overlay, because I don't think you can. You can have,
You're talking about in the buffer?
No.
Or in the landscape strip?
Right. And I'm not sure where the landscape, but my next point is there's a landscape strip there. So I'm not sure that you all have thought about that. Anyway, what is the material of the walls?
It would be similar brick veneer. That's the third one.
So it'll match the walls, or it'll be same material as walls?
So it'd be this similar, this brick, I guess the Spanish moss, and then it would have a cast stone cap on top.
Okay. And does that exist on those two front elevations of the home?
I think this is supposed to be similar to the stone that's right there in the brick that's in 7.
Same as 7, okay.
Yeah.
And the street trees, you said they're nuttall oaks. There's only 2 in those 2 bump outs, right?
Yes, yeah, 2 in the bulb outs, and then the other ones were American hornbeams, the Palisade American hornbeam, so a little bit more of the columnar upright to kind of deal with it.
Do those exist anywhere up and down on Thompson Street?
Well, they're proposed to the east. I do know that. That's not here in front of you guys, obviously, but we are working on both of those projects, so we're tying that in. And then the Nuttall oaks are the ones that are the consistent street tree.
Really a true street tree theme of Nuttall oaks. Okay.
Yep.
And the driveway, is there a driveway apron as you come in there? There's usually a condition in there about that has to be a separate material.
For the crosswalk. You're
Right.
talking about the pedestrian crossing across that, yes, that we would need to do that.
Okay. And then last but not least, how does the terminus of that wall work on the east and the west with the neighboring properties?
We're proposing a column on the east side, which would tie in with the low masonry wall that we know is going to be starting on the east side for 306 Thompson Street. So those columns that column is in alignment with what we know is coming on the east side. On the west side, there's currently not a development, at least that I know of, being planned right now, but we would terminate it with a column on the far west side so that whoever would make any changes in the future has kind of a starting point to kind of either carry that wall on or landscape strip, but that would be kind of the ending condition on that west side.
Okay. So, and there's no plans to continue a fence or anything like that up the property line on the north, to the north?
We're working on at least on the east side, I guess that's lot 7 side. We're working on kind of with the neighbor to the east. We're not sure that there would be a fence. If there was, it'd be ornamental iron black, and then same on the west side too.
Okay. It makes sense to me if the eastmost column should actually be
on the property line
the edge, on the far end.
Yes.
And then is there a wall or anything else on the east side that you're tying into, or is it just is your column the standalone?
Our column will end, and the property to the east would come in and tie in the alignment with that column.
Okay, so there will be a continuation somehow. So okay.
Yep.
All right.
But yes, so that column needs to shift on the plan.
Okay. So
What is the height of your front wall between those columns?
I believe it was 2 feet for the wall and then the cap, and then 2 feet for the fence on top. And that was to mimic what was approved at City Council as best we could.
And what do the gates look like?
They would be of the similar white picket fence material.
Was that a condition way back when? The front elevations shall have walls and, okay. That was the thing, that was like the common thread between all these projects, is from one comment to every project to project.
So we're still dealing with that.
Sarah, the reason I asked you about the
Yes.
height of that wall is because you've got Distillium in front of it, Distillium that may get to be the height of the wall and the fence behind that line of shrubs. And it would seem that you would want to express that wall to the street and the picket fence to the street without bringing that height up too much. You've got a Distillium there, maybe you could select a Distillium that wouldn't be that high.
I think I noticed that, and thank you. I think on there I have copper tone. I think I would rather switch it to the vintage jade, which is the shorter one. And then I think right behind that would be the larger. The plan was to kind of do a little bit larger shrub right behind the fence, and then smaller mature shrubs as you get closer to the house, so that from the house view out, it kind of goes lower to higher, but then has that kind of eventually a more immediate screen there from the back. But I do agree with going with the smaller shrub just for wall and then also proximity to the sidewalk as well.
Where, do you guys know where your utility areas are going to be? AC or like meters, that kind of thing?
Let me see, I think Luke put them on here.
Utilities for like AC.
Meters, like which side of the homes they'll sit?
On the flat roof buildings, they'll be on the roofs.
Okay.
Yes.
So lot 7?
So, yeah.
How about
Lot-
1?
Yes, one, so let's see.
You're talking about gas meters?
Meters, AC units, all that stuff.
I know,
yeah.
but we're showing the flat roof stuff, those are the ones that get that stuff. Yeah, we tend to hide them, we put them where you can't see them, so from the street.
Between the houses,
Yeah.
every other house. But they're gonna see it though.
Yeah.
Because it's only, the side yards are small.
I think the AC
condensing
units are to
units,
the
yeah.
north of each, would be to the north
Well,
of
these
each
are
one,
big,
so the building would
these are
screen.
big houses, so they're gonna have 4.
Yeah.
So there's probably gonna be 2, they have to be, they can only go 75 feet from the furnace, so that kind of depicts, the floor plans depict where they kind of go sometimes.
Well, when you come back, just think about where those are going,
Yes, sir.
so we kind of have an idea of, I mean, I have an idea why I think they need to go, but we need to work with the design. so.
And then a lot of the neighborhoods are putting them in the space between the houses, and they'll put like 2 for one house in the back and then 2 on the other side. But just be mindful of having circulation area in between
Yes.
properties too.
Staggering.
One more question, I think. Where exactly is your 10-foot landscape strip in the front? And I'm looking at.
I think it probably shows best in this picture actually while we're
Looking
here.
at L1.
So we have it going,
Uh-oh. That's my luck right there usually. So it goes back practically to the corner of the house.
right, and yeah, and that's why I say it's very tight on the west
So,
side.
Again, you're gonna have some issues with exterior doors and landscape strips and all that sort of thing. So, and just, y'all need to coordinate on that.
We could do a fixed door, but I think you guys are looking for a patio, so.
No, I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'm just saying, let you know, you've got certain restrictions in there that I don't think have been thought of in this thing. So that's all I had anyway.
All right.
I just have one more comment. Along the Alpha Loop, let's see. I think you guys are using a couple river birch kind of adjacent to the walkway.
Yeah.
I don't know, those tend to be kind of messy. They drop branches all the time, and it could end up being like a pedestrian hazard. I don't know if maybe we consider a different tree in those locations.
Yep, I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Good comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the additional thought was more just a little bit smaller canopy to not conflict with the big ones, but I think we can look at a different tree substitution on there.
Okay.
Speaking of that area, I saw another council condition have you guys talked to the Academy Park Homeowners Association yet? Okay, because it says if allowed by the Academy Park Homeowners Association to be installed upon its property, the developer shall install an 8-foot tall decorative fence with maintenance access gate along the common boundary of the subject property in Academy Park. So it's like there's a tall fence going back there somewhere.
Right.
North.
So it's on the northern property line.
And that'll definitely be a conversation to have with them, because I believe right now it's just stream buffer and trees there with the stream between. So I don't know that there's right now a public connection, but definitely something to confirm with them. Thank you.
Okay, anything else for the folks? I think the motion, at least on the architectural elevations and materials, is to defer. We did a good cursory review today with comments, but to defer that, and I don't know that we have to do landscaping. I mean, it's coming through staff and just kind of general comments and information for us, so.
Yep.
Okay.
Which could tweak a little bit of the, it's great comments about, I didn't catch that, but the landscape strip could tweak those elevations a little bit. So I think that's one thing you should probably hit quickly and hard, is how is that going to tie together, and maybe have to change that elevation based on that. So
Those homes had, like you did on the townhomes, the back, those things had front porches underneath. It's huge. That's no way.
That's what I was pushing for.
I get it. You're putting as much occupiable space in there as you can. I understand that.
Okay. All right, let me, before we have a motion, is there any public comment? Any public comment about this applicant or application this morning? There is none. Okay. All right.
You want me to?
Watch you.
Yep. Mr. Chairman, regarding DRB 240048, the Kingsley development at 296 and 304 Thompson Street, I'd like to make a motion to defer. And a motion.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Rowan, a second by Mr. Owens. Any comments or questions about the motion? There being none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All opposed? No opposition. Motion passes 6-0. All right. Thank you for your time this morning. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys being prepared and everything. We'll see you, everything goes smoothly, we'll see you February 21st, 2025. How about that? Okay. And by the way, our next meeting is scheduled for January 17th, 2025. Design Review Board. Okay, with that, and there being no further business and no objections from fellow board members, this meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you. All right. Go get your shopping done.
30 days. So you need to submit.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
Just send me the application again. No, you have to advertise each time you come. Yeah, thank you, State of Georgia. It used to be